welcome to Good Buddy Comics. This is Good Buddy Chat with special guest Jonathan. I almost say John Wayshak. Want to make sure I say the name correctly. But yeah, it's so good to have John join us. Thank you very much for coming on. My name's Dustin Whitney, and I'm joined by co-host Tyler Laracy, and of course, the one and only Wayshak. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, John.
Oh, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
No, the pleasure is all ours. Again, ever since being introduced to your work, because it's funny because Dustin's like the go-to guy to like ask people because I'm too nervous or like, no, I don't want to bother people or whatever. He was like, yeah, we got Wayshak. And I'm like, awesome, sweet. So appreciate you being here.
Yeah, and then you were so kind in your reply too. So thank you very much for doing that and for accepting with relative little push at all, just nothing but an invitation. But hopefully it's well worth your time and you have fun tonight as well.
Oh, I'm sure it is, man. I'm happy to be here.
All right, thank you, sir.
Sorry, I'm trying to get my cat's like biting my ankles right now. She does this like every show. Like I'm not even kidding. Every time I go live on a show, she starts biting my ankles. So if you see me doing this,
you'd mentioned that on West Coast Avengers, which I thought was funny, and yeah, now it's happening again. So she
won't stop.
It's every they get in their mind.
We got to get an appearance of the cat. Come on,
there we go. Let's
blow them up and see it. There we go. Camera ready. I love it.
What's their name?
That's Olive.
Olive.
Oh, that's a great name. Yeah. We're cat people. Tyler's got cats. I've got 3 cats.
I was gonna say mine scratches the door because like her feeding is like right at the end of the show generally. So like she'll be clawing at the door to get in. So
oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's so she'll be right at home with our cat family that we have.
Cool.
All right. Well, before we start the show, we must open up the club. John, we kind of skimmed through these when we showed you the slides because we didn't want to ruin the surprise. So, welcome to the club, John. You are Good Buddy certified.
Yep.
We say
yes, is Good Buddy certified. So
right congratulations, and we're sorry for that. But
thank you. I don't have any club memberships right now.
You do now.
Yeah.
Well, the next time we see you, we've got stickers coming, so we'll give you a free sticker to go with it. So
okay, awesome.
Yep. That's your payment for being on the show right there. So
awesome.
But no, glad to have you on. Glad to have you as a certified Good Buddy.
Yep.
So next time you're on, we'll make sure and refer to you. You'll have your certified Good Buddy sticker at the top for the whole show. So
yeah, I need like a button to put on my bag so people can see it at con.
There you go. Yeah.
We're
gonna work on those next. Yeah.
Add that to the to-do list. All right. Well, before this was Tyler, I'd throw these pictures in there, and Tyler's like, well, these are kind of out of the flow of the slides. He was wondering why I put them on there. And I said, I was watching a sale about a year and a half ago on YouTube. It was through a different site, and these 2 pieces came up for sale. And I thought, who in the world is this? Like that Spider-Man was so insane. The fingers looked like they were coming off the screen. And I thought, holy cow, who in the world? And that's where this is really where I've got my first introduction to you. And then I looked and I was like, man, you did all kinds of stuff. You've been around for a while, but this was my introduction to the world of Wayshak. And it blew my mind seeing it. And Tyler will talk about his introduction here in a second. But yeah, so impressive the way you draw these characters.
Yeah.
That's so interesting because that Spider-Man, even to me, is so bizarre.
Oh, that's what makes it great.
So I'm happy that you like that. And Tin Can Society, that's a piece I did for one of Rick Remender's books.
Great book too. If people in the chat haven't read Tin Can Society, such a fantastic short series. Fully out now. I think the trade I believe is already out too.
Yeah, I don't think it's fully Rick's book. I think he was working with another writer on that. I think, right?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I think, and you kind of talked about it, I think like another interview I was listening to, but I mean, that's definitely what I mean, I'm such a specific individual when it comes to styles. Like it's either like it pops out or it doesn't. Like there's so many artists and there's so many, books vying for your attention when you go and, look at a wall. But this is the stuff that sticks out to me. And that's where I was introduced was with Cul-De-Sac. Like I saw Cul-De-Sac's cover and was like, I don't know what this is. And I'm like, turned around, of course, like Scotty had his approval or whatever on the back, and I was like, oh, that's like the cherry on the top. But really, it was flipping through is what sold me on it, because I was just like, holy shit! Like I've not seen, part of my French because Dustin gets all flipping through was just like I never seen a comic like it, kind of a deal. And that's what like stopped me in my tracks. And like I could have just sat on the floor and read it there before buying it, kind of a deal. Like that's how sold. I was just like, wow, this art style is just so unique and different. And yeah, I mean, it's only been, continue to, see that in your commissions and other covers and all that kind of stuff. So I was instantly hooked and was like, yeah, I want more of this. So.
Well, I'm happy you like it. I'm happy that you like it. And I'm also happy that so many people were accepting of it too. Just because it is so wild and it is so out there, and it stems from my sketchbook, and it's something that for years people would not give me work for that kind of stuff, and I would turn things in, I'd get it sent back and blah blah. So I've gotten fired from jobs, but like so it was very nice that it got such a great response, and it's my favorite comic project that I've done, and I put a lot of myself into it. So at this point, at least visually, I consider it very much my own, but it was great. It was experimental, stressful at times, just because I am kind of don't know where I'm going with it, because with that style there is no planning to it, and that either comes out great or it causes problems, and that's my approach to all my work. So that's the risk I'm taking. I'm almost gambling with these pieces I make. Almost every piece I do,
When I like that too, like that was something like, and we'll show it off coming up here later. But that was one thing that I was interested in asking a commission from you, was that you treat it, or you approach it from the viewpoint of you'd like to show the person first before they choose whether or not to accept it, or to pay you, kind of a deal, which I thought was super interesting. So.
Well, apparently I'm not the only guy who does that. I forget. Somebody told me there's a couple other artists that do it, but I can't remember who they are. But for me, it purely comes from anytime somebody's spending money on my work, I consider it, an honor, and it's kind of like I want people to be happy with it, and everybody has different tastes, and just because of the nature of my thing, even as wild as the Spider-Man is, it's still in the realm of Spider-Man. But I am pushing it farther than what most people like. So I just want to make sure people are happy with it. You know what I mean? And there's nothing personal about it. You don't like it, you don't like it. That's how this business runs. And you shouldn't be taking things like that personally, But my main concern is just people are happy with the piece, really. That's all that's that's about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
I
mean,
even if they don't like the style of it, they can't. I mean, they can't say the amount of effort that you put into a piece. You can just tell by looking at the fingers and the shading and the arms, just the way the concept of it. I mean, you don't shy away. You don't slack on any of your concept styles that are points that you do.
You're not phoning it in. Each piece is personal for you. Or at least personal in a sense that like you trying to connect. We kind of talked about it a little bit before on the show, but like you trying to connect to whichever character it is that somebody brings you to do it to the best of your ability. So yeah.
Try to.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's art. It's art.
Right.
It's funny. It's like sometimes things just don't work. That's how it is, and it's hard to explain, especially if you don't draw. Not everything. It's just sometimes it takes a little more effort to make it work. Sometimes you have to rework it. Sometimes you have to repaint the head. Even though I work in pen and ink, I'm not shy about that. I'll just like that Spider-Man. If I didn't like the head, I would just like throw a blob of like acrylic paint and redraw it.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah,
I'll spend the time necessary to try and make it as good as possible.
That's super. I mean, it's super appreciative as the person getting the piece, because it's you're gonna get something awesome. I mean, again, when I asked you, it was like fully with because I gave certain characters or whatever, but I knew I was like, I'm getting it because I want whatever your interpretation of said thing is, kind of a deal. So, and then before if we get into this, we've noticed or put up that we're doing a giveaway later that we talked about. So. In honor of West Coast Dave Avengers, who I mentioned earlier, he does his Wayshak watch, which I thought was funny. He posted about trying to find you and stuff at shows. So we're trying to utilize. We've never used this. It's with StreamYard. It's their stuff. But if people in the comments, if you type hashtag Wayshak watch, you'll be entered for the giveaway, and we'll do that later on. So
absolutely, yeah. I'm glad you mentioned
Cool.
that early on because John, this is the first time we're ever trying it, so it's probably not going to work. But we've got our fingers crossed that it is. We'll come
No,
up with some other giveaway if it doesn't. So
I'm sure it will. You'll make it work somehow.
we'll
It's
try.
working so far, thankfully. So that we've
Yes.
got
There
two
you
because
go.
I think it considers ours. So if we get drawn, don't worry, we'll re-roll. So
Yeah, that's right. So, all right. We'll go through some of the commissions here.
yeah.
This one blew
Well,
me
here I
away.
was
I
gonna.
hadn't
Sorry, I
seen
wanted to
this.
go back just real.
Oh,
Sorry,
go
I
on,
did
go
just
on,
want to
go
talk
on.
about this
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
So this was your Fortnite loading screen. It's been so interesting to me because they've been asking so many comic book artists like lately. It seems like to do, which I think is awesome. I think it's really cool to see Jim Mafood, Scotty, yourself, Max, other people who have done these, being in the game. So I was just kind of curious, because we talked a little bit about video games, that you like playing video games and stuff. Was this an interesting project for you? Did you like, did you know Fortnite, or was it just like, oh, I've heard of it and I'll do something for it? So
I know Fortnite from the very beginning when it came out, and that's a long time ago at this point.
yeah,
It's
like
hard to
five
convey.
plus years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to convey how I guess different it was with the building and all that back
Yeah.
then. Now it doesn't matter. Now it doesn't have that same effect. Now it's like weird.
Yeah.
It's got so much stuff into it
It's
now.
got too
you know what
much.
I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's too much. I think it's good. I think it's good. There's always something new for people to learn, but it's hard for me to keep up because I just don't have a lot of time to play games. I have one friend. That's when we talk. It's like he's like, get on
Yeah.
Fortnite and we'll talk. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
That's
okay.
that's what I do with my friends every Monday,
Yeah.
Wednesday. We'll get on and play for like an hour or so.
Yeah, but it's not just Fortnite. Any game,
Yeah.
I just don't have enough time to keep up with the meta or any of that stuff anymore. You know what I mean? So I just
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
But it's at least the building's not as crazy as it used to be because I couldn't keep up with those kids after a while, man.
No, yeah, it's nice. Yeah, now they've got zero builds. Like I was reluctant because I was like, oh, I'd actually gotten good at building, and they're like, all right, zero builds out. Let's switch to that. And I was like, but I just learned how to build. Like I don't want to. Yeah, and now I'm like, all right, cool, zero builds, fine. It's totally cool. So.
Oh no, if you were
Yeah.
playing near the beginning, the building was crazy. Like
Oh
in the
yeah, I
first
was.
couple of years.
Yeah, I jumped in because I started with Save the World. I got into the beta, and then I didn't play too much of it, but then I had friends who were in the Battle Royale when it was introduced. So I got in on like season 2 and started playing. And we've been playing, like I said, for like the last 5 years, pretty much every week kind of a deal. So, but yeah, it's that same point where I'm like, I used to be so much more on top of it than I am now, kind of a deal. But
yeah, they're real great to work with because because it's such a huge game. I thought there was going to be a lot of restriction, but there actually was none. This was supposed to be a color piece actually, and when I finished it, I really just liked it as a black and white. To me, I was like, I want it to live as a black and white. So I actually asked them, I'm like, would you guys be interested in doing this in black and white? And they were totally like into it.
That's super cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's how great they were to work with, man. It's the fact that they listened, I really appreciated,
That is good.
It seems like it translates because again, like it's not like it's your style filtered or anything. Like again, looking at your work, looking at Jim Mafood's, like it is your pieces through and through. It's not like they made you, tone it down or do something different or whatever. It was just like, yeah, like you got to do a piece for them, kind of a deal. So that's really cool to hear.
Yeah, the funny thing is I worked on it's really large, like much larger than I normally work on. I like computers. I don't get to mess with them much anymore, but I worked on it very large because my concern was like, oh, this is going to de-res really badly on like an 85-inch TV, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, what I didn't take into account, because I don't have a big 85-inch TV or whatever, is that it's 4K and everything, but it's just scaling stuff up. You know what I mean? So drawing it big didn't really do anything to save the image quality. You know what I mean? I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But
Do you know how
like
big you drew it? Or?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering what size it was.
It's somewhere around 22 by 30.
Okay.
Holy cow.
Pen and ink's weird. You should never work that large. I enjoy it because in person. So in illustration, you're supposed to draw for print. The final piece is print. You should never especially the old school guys. The original doesn't mean anything. The final piece is the printed piece. But I'm very much about originals. So like I like drawing big. I'm more comfortable drawing big, and the original looks fantastic. But sometimes they just don't reproduce well, you know.
Yeah.
But it's something I do out of pure enjoyment. A lot of times I do know better, but that's just how I work sometimes.
Oh, as somebody who appreciates the original art, like I'm all for that. That's totally cool to me, because seeing stuff like this, seeing stuff like I imagine how big the Fortnite one was. I can only imagine what looking at something like this in person is like. Just a big piece. Just again with your amount of details that you're able to get in, and the texture work you do is just phenomenal. So
You got olive there for reference to size reference. That's a great.
Yeah,
I was
that's
gonna
all.
say, now that I know it's olive, yeah.
But yeah, no, this commission took a long time to finish, and it's actually what I was alluding to earlier is actually reworked a lot. That's why it took so much time. You can't tell because I'm using white paint and all that, so it's not like I'm doing cutouts and white, like big areas of white out and all that. Yeah. So but this piece was reworked for no reason other than I just did it. You know what I mean? I just reworked it. I'd see something and I'd rework it, but I'm happy it's done.
Yeah. I was gonna say, had you
That's
taken,
incredible.
I mean, like a commission like this is a like this is even
Monster.
bigger than cover quality in a sense. Like this is poster quality. So I imagine you don't get too many commissions like asking for something, of this kind of magnitude. So
No, and this is never going to print or anything, you know what I mean? So it lives as the original, and that's how I drew it. And hopefully the person who commissioned it is happy with it. That's all I care about, man.
I would hope so. Yeah, I can't imagine a world. Maybe there's a world where they aren't, but this, I know I would be incredibly happy with something like this. So, again, to be able to fit all these characters in, but still, again, you can focus on each and every single one, and they've got their spotlight. So,
yeah.
So some commissions, and I did want to throw in, because again, I didn't want to just focus on, because I'm sure, especially in the comic industry, you get a lot of commissions for big IP characters, whether it's the Too Big or something else. But I also like seeing the commissions you get, like on the left there, where you're maybe given a word and then you just kind of take it and run with it, kind of a deal. So
yeah, that one I wasn't even given that. That was just
that one, okay.
Yeah, just like draw something and I'll buy it. I'm like, okay.
And
I have it's kind of nerve-wracking because sometimes it's people got to realize I don't know where I'm going to go with the piece. So like the only direction I got on this was no nudity. That was like the only thing. But no, it's just when I'm allowed to do my own thing, I don't worry about it, but sometimes it's not to the person's taste. So it's nerve-wracking on that level. But there are a few people that let me do that, and I appreciate that greatly. I love just doing my thing, and making something out of nothing. And again, nerve-wracking for me because like even when I made this piece, this was actually an old drawing that I had something sketched in from my old studio from like maybe 10 years ago, and it wasn't even like sketched in, and I was just like, oh, well, I did that. Like it was very loose. It was just like circles and squares. I think the only thing that was like placed was her, or maybe it was like him. But anyway, I was just like, hey, I didn't finish this. I'm going to turn it into something. I don't even remember what it originally was supposed to be. But I just turned it into this. Cool. And sometimes that'll happen too. I have a couple pieces. I have one piece that's really old, like over 10 years old right now, that I'm looking at that I want to finish for maybe San Diego or New York, but I'm still thinking about it. And it's weird. Yeah. It's a strange piece, but it's kind of a Batgirl piece, but it's not going to be when I finish it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so interesting. And because it's such an interesting, do you find yourself doing that a lot? Because I feel like with most artists, it's kind of like they do something and maybe it doesn't work and they kind of move on, but it sounds like you're more so kind of, right, this didn't work out, but maybe I'll revisit this, down the road, and maybe it'll work out then.
It's not even that conscious. It's just like I got a piece here, and I'm kind of like, oh, I started it. I might as well finish it or see what I can turn into. Doesn't mean I'm going to finish it, but maybe it'll turn into something. This piece I'm kind of excited about. It's strange. I mean, I'm probably going to take out all the Batgirl elements out of it. Well, maybe not all of it, most of it, I think.
Yeah.
So, but
And
we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I don't even know why this
Yeah.
piece exists. I don't know why I was drawing Batgirl. This must have been somebody's idea or something. I really don't know.
Yeah.
Is it one of the ones you have pulled to show us later on? Because I'm curious now to see what it looks like.
It's not really in a state to show yet. Her
Oh,
face
okay,
is
okay,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
That's completely
Okay.
fair. Completely fair. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just
No,
like
no, no,
looking.
don't.
The reason why I'm even talking about it is like right here, so I remind myself I
Okay.
need to work on it because like there's just like stuff everywhere, and like I'll pull stuff out and I'll make it facing me just so I remember to like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to
Yeah.
do something with that. That's
Yeah.
the only reason why I'm even talking
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. Seth
No,
is
that's
already
totally fair.
playing.
Yeah.
You said Batgirl,
Yeah.
Seth, so I'll take it. But for
Even if it's
everybody
in
watching,
spirit. Yeah.
for everybody
Yeah.
watching, John will be showing some live art after
Yeah.
or later on in the show. So make sure and stick around for that because that'll be a treat. I know some of the images that we've had to put on there have kind of dulled the art down some and minimized them, but we'll blow John up and everybody can take a good look at the art that he has in hand.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I said, it does a disservice to these pieces to have them as tiny on the
Absolutely.
screen
Yeah.
as they are. Again, even just getting these and zooming in, just again, it's so interesting. And again, you've talked about it, your mixed media and how you kind of work, and you'll pick up a tool, but then you'll maybe put it down, the next page, and you're very free flowing or loose with how you do pieces, which I'm sure lends itself to your style or the way that you like, obviously creating things, but it really makes the pieces so unique and interesting. Look at something like this on the far left versus, the all black pieces to the right here. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to when I correct scans and things like that, I try to make them as true to the original as possible. So I try not to bump up the blues or whatever. Like if I'm just like, hey, because it's kind of like I'm like, if it doesn't work, I put that out there. I don't try to color correct it and go like, oh, we'll do this, or I try not to, as to the best of my ability, because I want the piece to live as the piece. Sure, maybe it'd be better if I do this or do that or pump up the reds or something, but like that's not what I'm interested in. I'm just trying to represent the pieces. So I just thought of that looking at this piece right here. Anyway, that's a big thing
no,
for
it's
me.
it's an interesting, especially in in such a digital age. It's so easy to be able to kind of fall prey to that, or not necessarily fall prey, but to just be able to adjust it or switch it up. But like you said, I appreciate that your sensibilities with the original art to be able to say, no, I want people online to view it just as if it were in front of them in their hands, kind of a deal. So
I mean, I think of it as a documentation process. That's why.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that's what the piece is. And I want it to be documented as that's what the piece is. So when people see, I mean, it's digital. You can't make it look perfect, but that way when people see it, they go like, oh yeah, that's the piece, as much as I can, I mean, I even go as far, at least these days, I change my methods all the time, but I do all my color correction, everything on a 16-inch laptop. I don't use like an external monitor or anything. It's just to make things, it's just to look at things small. So I can really get a sense of what the composition, and sometimes I'll correct it, like, because it's easier to do that when it's small. Like all the old comic strip artists like Milton Caniff and all that, you could shrink down their stuff to the size of a, quarter or like a $50, and it's legible. You know what I mean? So that's something I always try to do. Believe it or not, with all the detail in my work, that's what I try to do as much as possible, is actually make it as legible as possible,
That's interesting. Yeah. It's and like you said, it's so easy to, again, with fancy technology and gadgets we have and stuff and that's got to be interesting, I'm sure, going from the traditional medium to digital. It's a blend, it's whatever the artist prefers. There's artists who prefer penciling it regular or sketching digitally and then inking traditional and then back to the computer. But I'm sure, like you said, to combat that or to not fall into the detail itself, which again is so interesting because your artwork is so packed full of detail. There's just so much texture, and where I'm sure it could be easy to kind of get lost in that, or like you said, lose the composition or the image itself as a whole. So
yeah, I'm all about legibility.
Yeah, and I mean, I mean, this is your OAX, so this was your piece you did. I tried to win this from the auction. It went too hot, unfortunately.
I was sitting beside him, and I had to hold his arm down. He was going. He told me the number
there
he
was like
wanted.
only two pieces. It was like your piece and then Maxi Dalo's Absolute Batman. I was like, I wanted those two, and it was like, it was just not meant to be. But I'm happy forever got them. These were awesome pieces. So.
Were you at the auction? Were you at the auction that night, John?
No, I wasn't, because I don't want to know how it does. So
it did really well. It did really well. So
yeah. People told me after the fact. But I was like, I don't want to know. Like if it goes for like $50, I don't want to be there and know about that.
It did not. It did not go for $50. Yeah.
It's a fair, it's that thing of, putting a price tag on art. Again, art is so subjective. So it's like putting something like a price tag on something like that, I'm sure is, it's just a weird thing.
I told Tyler too, had he had one more drink in him, he probably would have won that piece, because he was going at it hard. He was going at it really hard. So
yeah, no, I'm on that whole thing where it's like, I just like to live in a bubble when it comes to my own work, and I don't want to. Yeah, I don't look up reviews. I don't look up opinions.
That's smart.
It's just, I prefer not to know. I just prefer not to have that even anywhere near my thought process, for no other reason than I just can't. I don't know. It's just something I do. I was like, I think it's better I don't know. I like to live life. I guess.
Yeah, I think it would be best for most everyone to not kind of do that, especially artists, because it's like, we're already in our heads enough as is, self-critiquing and stuff. So it's like, we don't need anybody else to like pile on to that, whether it's kind of good or bad, because I'm sure it can kind of sway or, just kind of, it kind of dilutes the process, if you will. But I mean, and you do. I mean, it's like I said, I'm still relatively new to your artwork, and again, we only briefly chatted at OAX, but it was fun to get. I was also one of the ones that got the free sketch card, which was super fun. And then to see these two again, like the Cyclops, and I know again, you like working bigger. But to see, still the same, like I could see the Cyclops, and if I saw this digitally, like, oh, that's the same size as Ghost Rider. It's like, nope, that's a sketch card. So,
yeah, I find sketch cards difficult for me to work on, just because I am very much accustomed to working at a much larger size. I mean,
yeah,
honestly, the only reason why my covers are bigger than a lot of times 11 by 17 is I find 11 by 17 the standard comic book paper size, whether I'm drawing interiors or covers. I actually find that size extremely restricting.
Really? Okay.
I would like to work Silver Age size, which I've done before, but it's not possible to do that and stay on any kind of decent schedule. So I'm forced to work at 11 by 17, but at least the covers I can work larger.
Yeah, true. Right. Yeah. And you generally tend to, I think it's coming up when we get to the covers and stuff, but like one of my favorites of yours is the cover you did for Grommets. Seeing that painting was super cool. And like you said, it obviously allows you to, give more to the artwork itself. Like it just lines up better. Kind of like same with if you're given a commission to do what you want to do, that lines up better than being given somebody else. So
yeah.
Yeah, the Grommets was one that you sent in our group. Me and Tyler and Seth all have like a message group that we message way too much during the day. But it was one that he had sent to us as highlighting some of your work, and we're like, "Holy cow, that is incredible!" And we'll get to it and talk a little bit more about it later. But I just wanted to, I thought of that. But yeah, let me say real quick: make sure that if you type #WayshakWatch, I've been fighting a battle where y'all are talking. The spelling, it has to be exact. Yeah, so I'm trying to help anybody that's maybe put a punctuation or something to help them. I want everybody to have a chance at this amazing book that we're giving away here. So make sure spelling is exactly right, and you will be entered. All right, sorry to derail the show, but wanted to try to help everybody out.
Cool.
There we go. We got somebody who has one of your covers. Oh, yeah, 15 by 20. You'll have to let us know what cover that is.
15 by 20. I'm just trying to think. I'm like, that's an odd size. I'm like, oh wait, that makes sense actually. So okay.
Hey, Robert, which one is it? We'll put it on here just to...
Yeah. But these were I threw these on because this is some of the more recent work you've posted. One of which is the Absolute Batman piece, which you posted like I think just like yesterday, the day before, and we were all like, and immediately we're, sharing that and just, amazed you had another fantastic piece. And I love it because Dustin was immediately like in the email reply with you was like, I want that if nobody's claimed it.
Well, I had I was working on sending an email to you about the show and having all the status, and all of a sudden I saw that pop up on my Instagram or Facebook, and I thought I got to ask about that. I think you had posted it 45 minutes into my email, so I had to do it. And Tyler had took a screenshot of my request and shared it to our group to show how fast I was. But that's an incredible piece.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks. I like making Batman look like a demon. That's like kind of
with mission
like
accomplished.
The long pointy ears, like
it's one of my favorite parts of the absolute Batman. And I love like the pointier and longer the ears, like you said, the more demonic or more bat-like, creature-like, he
teeth,
is.
The teeth.
And the color stuff too, and we'll get into that like with Cul-De-Sac, because the color stuff you did in that, it was, and even Dave was mentioning like the reds we see with your work, I just don't feel like I see, and maybe that's just because the other colors kind of diminish it in a sense that you're getting the full spectrum, whereas you really put those bright splotches of red in there that pop, especially in this one. I mean, it just looks fantastic behind Batman there. So and then of course the one on the right, the one you posted, Darksiders, this was my commission, Strife. Again, it was funny because I was glad, and I can't remember if I had told you, but I'd sent this and you were like, hey, what's Darksiders? I'm not really familiar with it. And I was like, sure, I'll put together a picture reference packet, if you will, of each of the characters. So you had something to kind of go off of. And I was glad because I then asked Eric Canetti for a similar commission, and he was also like, I don't really know what this is. Do you have any reference? And I was like, I just put reference together for Wayshak. This is perfect. I'll just give you this. So
that's cool, man.
But you knocked it out of the park. Again, it's such a niche. I love Joe Mad's work. Darksiders is one of my favorite video games. I've got the Darksiders tattoo there, the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. It's always kind of weird to show off, but
nice.
I always like
same place where Joe Mad has his. It's just my favorite game series. I just love the world and the characters. So I was excited to see who you'd pick, what you'd do with the characters. So it was awesome to get this back and see Strife. And again, I'm sure it's going to blow me away even more in person, just because again, I can't really capture in word. It's almost like etching, like the work that you do, like where like it's that stuff where you get like the black page and you etch away, to reveal the color of the white. Like that's what I feel like when I look at your work. Like it's not like a brush that's capturing that texture, but you're like individually etching each strand of his hair there or something like that. So
well, I mean, I don't know how I'm going to compete with Canetti though, man. Canetti's one of my favorites. So
well, funny enough, he actually chose the same character you did too, which I thought was super interesting. So
but Canetti's great, man. I'm sure that'll be awesome.
Yeah. No, his was great. I got his at OAX. I did he did Strife, and then I had Matteo Scalera. He was my first, and so I asked him to do War, and I was like, oh, I should have asked him to just pick, kind of a deal. But I mean, you all knocked it out of the park. Again, especially for not really being familiar with the characters. I can imagine how difficult that is, which is why I'm understandable. Some artists are like, hey, this is my wheelhouse. You can kind of stick to this wheelhouse, but yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, I love the series so much. So, having that connection, it's cool to then get pieces from artists who I admire and whose artwork, speaks to me, to be able to see their interpretation of those same characters in that sense. So, yeah, no, I was super pleased with it. It's funny because I was literally thinking, I was like, man, he'd probably hate this, but I was like, I might just have to get the other 3 horsemen from you to have the full set of all 4. I won't do it at once. Yeah. I'll maybe sprinkle them throughout the next few years. But...
Isn't one a girl, or is that?
It's Fury.
Okay.
Yeah, Fury.
All right.
Fury and Strife were the substitute for Pestilence and Famine. And then War and Death were just straight themselves. So yeah, the 3 brothers and the 1 sister, Fury. So honestly, to be truthful, I thought you might have picked Fury. I don't know why. I figured but I think I was coming from knowing the character well and like who she is, because she's very sassy and she's got her whip, which is very much a characteristic of her. So I thought you might go with her, but
I actually would have, but somehow I missed her.
Oh, really? Oh.
I
wow.
probably
So,
would have. Yeah.
so the next one up, the next one up. will
Yeah,
be-
but somehow I missed her, so I didn't even realize there was a female until after I started working on this.
Oh no, you
I
like
was
pulled
like,
the ref. You're
oh,
like, wait a minute.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, it worked out in your favor, Tyler. This is awesome. This was, I don't
Yeah.
know. Tyler's kind of educated me about this series and all, but I have no idea about it. But whenever I saw this piece, I was like blown away by it. I have no idea about the character, but I knew Tyler was going to love it just by
Yeah.
looking at it before he even commented on it. So yeah, you
Cool.
did an incredible job on it, man.
Thanks, man.
No, and I appreciate you getting to it. I know how incredibly busy things are for you right now, and the covers and everything that's coming in and stuff. So again, it's always I'm very
Oh,
patient. I was going to say passionate for
yeah.
some reason. Patient. I'm very patient. So I'm like, it's totally like cool. You know, there's no rush for me. Like I'm so used to like pre-ordering stuff anyways and like waiting a year and then being like, all right, cool. I get that thing finally. So
Yeah, it's like Christmas. Yeah, you get to be surprised
Yeah.
by it.
yeah,
Armory
exactly.
Wars Volume 2, number 1.
That was
15 by
15
20.
by 20. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very
So,
happy he has that one too. That's in good hands.
Yeah.
That's good. That's awesome.
Yeah, that I really enjoyed working on that. I enjoyed working on Army Wars in general. That was great. They let me experiment on all 12
Yeah.
covers. And so I am very pleased about that.
I was
able
gonna
to
say,
make some of them look very different, you know?
Yeah. I feel bad because we actually I don't think we actually got any of the Armory. I was looking at them too, and now I feel terrible we didn't put any of those covers into like the showcase that we have coming up. But
Yeah, I was looking at them as well.
it wasn't one I was
there
familiar with until looking through your list of work. That comic itself I wasn't familiar
Yeah.
with. So it's definitely one I wanted to go back and check out just from your covers alone. So
Yeah, there's a lot of lore in that comic. Or it's got a long, Claudio did a very long and involved story, and there's a lot of you probably should just read it from beginning to end, you know. I know it
Yeah.
finished recently.
Oh
but
wow, okay.
There's just a lot of elements to it. It's very
Yeah.
there's definitely a very well thought out world that's in there, you know.
That's really cool. I mean, that stuff is, again, the world building is what draws me into comics or games or whatever. Like that's the stuff I love is just the lore and history and how much thought is put into it, you know, that expands it, and where you continue to think about it even past, you know, reading whatever official materials out there, where you're like, man, I wonder what else is going on in this world that this person's created. So no, definitely have to add that to my list. So
So
Yeah,
we're
these
looking at
are-
your sketchbooks.
Yeah.
Myopia. Myopia. I'll say it right. Daggone it. I said it right before the show. So I knew it was going to happen. But where did that name come from, John? I hadn't looked up the kind of the origin of that.
Well, the definition of it is what, nearsightedness or something, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then that's like yeah, I mean the joke is I'm going blind drawing all this stuff, but
Oh, okay. That's okay.
the word even, but the reality of the word the word I came across the word first from a Astro Man record, Eviac, and then the last song is Myopia, and it's my favorite song on the record. So I was listening to it a lot, and I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense. So it came from
That's
a
awesome.
Astro Man record.
That's
Oh.
super cool. I love that, like double
That's a
the
great
double meaning to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Now-
super
now
fun.
This is issue 1, issue 2, and issue 3, and issue 4, which we're about to see next. And
Yeah.
you had said you're working on issue 5, the next volume in this sketchbook. But are all the older ones out of print? Are they completely sold out of print, or do you have them at shows?
No, one
people-
is gone. I have issue 2 and issue 3 and issue 4. I'll be putting them up on the website. I just, at the moment, it's hard for me to keep the website up to date. So so I'm just going to say it. They'll be online next week. But
Oh, sweet.
anyway, it's hard for me to maintain a lot of these things just because my time is generally literally only spent drawing.
Yeah.
And so it's hard for me to do
Time well
anything
spent.
outside of that, you know.
Right.
But since I'm on the spot and people have been asking too, they're going to be on the website next week. I'm going to make sure it happens somehow, even if
That's
it comes going to be
awesome.
late.
No, I'm sure it'd be much
Yeah.
appreciated because these are
Yeah.
insane how incredible they are. And just flipping through and looking at some of your Instagram posts for what the interiors are for these, anybody will be happy to own any of these editions. So hopefully they can pick them all up.
Yeah, it's my favorite project that I work on. I wish I could devote more time to it, but I can't. But it's a sketchbook, which I'll be showing you guys later. And it's issue 5 should be the finish of the first sketchbook, but I'm going to be continuing the series.
Okay.
It's basically just like
nice.
images that are done on the fly.
Yeah.
I mean, not that much different from my covers, I guess, but like they're just images done on my fly, purely from the subconscious, and um, um, just whatever I decide to do at the time. So it's a sketchbook, but obviously it's more involved than a sketchbook. So it lies somewhere between illustration and sketchbook. But yeah, so the series will be continuing. So even though I'm finishing the sketchbook with issue 5, there's going to be issue 6, issue 7, issue 8, and issue 9. Whether it's kept in a sketchbook anymore, I don't know.
Okay.
I spoke to some people about it.
Yeah.
Even Scotty's like, you should draw them on separate pieces of paper. I'm like, okay. I'm trying to figure it out.
Remind it yourself later.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Is there, so they're part of, so it's part of a series then. Visually, is there,
it's the sketchbook real quick. We'll go through it later.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
I was gonna say we can just blow you.
Yeah,
so all it
Yes, banner.
was, so this series is an accident, really, because it's just a sketchbook I had.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
I just started doing these drawings. These are the first ones where I was just like, oh, I want to do something that's purely my own, that's not a job or anything, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just spending some time on them. And then I was like, hey, I got enough, I'll print a book. And then I just kept going with it and kept going with it and kept going with it. And that's all that this project is.
Yeah.
You know, and it's an extension of where it really comes from. It's an extension of When the Chickens Revolt, which is the unfinished project I did with Sam Keith, late Sam Keith, that was approached in the same way. And that's how Sam approaches sketchbooks. So really, Myopia is from Sam's influence, from looking at his sketchbooks in his studio, because he does the exact same thing. And the amount of sketchbooks he has is unbelievable, that nobody's ever seen, like artwork people haven't seen, you know? So that's where Myopia is from, but Myopia is going to keep going, and it's going to keep going. And it's because it's my thing. No publisher will ever want to publish it, because it's just a sketchbook, you know, but I can keep putting them out.
We ever looked at like like Kickstarter? I know like Kickstarter is big for that kind of like, and it seems like it's blowing up even more, like, you know, the Marvel official ones with all their artists they're doing, but you know, even just self-funded ones from like Ink Pulp and Sean and stuff. It's such a cool way to be able to get that stuff out there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking into all avenues right now. I finally have a little bit of time. Things have finally slowed down a little bit, where I could spend a little bit of time like just working on stuff and thinking about stuff. I haven't been able to do that for a while. So we'll see where it goes. Right now I'm just in the mode of making work. And that's about all I'm thinking about at the moment.
No, I mean, it's completely fair. And yeah, but say getting into the cover, I mean, the covers you're doing, that's the stuff, you know, the projects none of us know about that are going on, that will be announced soon or in the future. I mean, that kind of stuff. It's there's a lot more of you now than ever. And again, that's only because I'm also looking now from Cul-De-Sac, you know, I'm more aware. So now I'm more on the lookout for that stuff. But I love seeing how much is popping up, you know, whether it's I Hate Fairyland 50 or the Arachnid Enforcer cover you did with Jim Mafood. I mean, this stuff was just so fun to see. And I just love, you know, getting in different, you know, whether it's Fairyland, which is so completely different for the Arachnid Enforcer, sorry. But yeah, these covers are just such a blast.
Thanks. I try to do different things. Just to keep myself entertained with it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it definitely, it seems like it, like we were saying. I mean, you put thought, and again, not like saying that other artists and stuff are not putting thought into it, but I'm sure it's easy if, you know, you got a lot of covers to do, like, all right, I'll knock this kind of stuff out. But to see them each so visually distinct and different, and whether it's black and white, again, I like that there's rhythm to it, but like it's different for each piece. It's not just, you know, one certain specific style that you do. Sorry, Dustin, you were going to say something.
No, I was just, Jerry said that I Hate Fairyland cover is epic. And we saw this piece live at OAX. And as good as it looked printed on the cover and the comic itself and the picture here, it was 1,000 times better in person. And I saw the collector on Instagram had the one that ended up with this piece, and he looked like it was a big time collector. So I'm glad it went to a good home. But yeah, this was one of the pieces I regretted not having the money to buy it at OAX, because it was so incredible.
Yeah, that's always the print is so Print is just hard to get things to translate to print because they go to other printers and then
Yeah.
other people's. Sometimes the covers come out dark. Sometimes weird stuff happens, man. That's just out of your
Yeah.
control.
Yeah.
Because like every time I see something weird on a cover, I go back to my files and I look at things and I'm like, did I do something wrong? And I was like, I don't think I did. It's just a crapshoot sometimes, and that's all just part of the business.
But
Yeah.
it looked good. It looked good printed though. I'm not naysaying the printing. The printed cover looked good too, but just the art.
Oh no,
was-
yeah.
yeah. I'm not.
No,
I'm not
it
like
printed. No, it
discrediting
printed great.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about.
Yeah.
No, it printed
Okay.
great. It's just that's part of the business, is what I'm saying.
Right,
You
right,
know what I
right.
It's
mean?
gonna be
No,
a
I got you.
frustrating process.
Yeah.
Yeah. To not have it 1-to-1.
I mean, you can't replicate the original. It's just not possible in print. It's
Right.
funny enough. It's more possible digitally. That's
Yeah.
the best way to view it
Yeah.
is actually on an iPad or something like that. Because at least in my case, that's the truest to what the actual piece will look like without seeing the actual piece. But printing, there's like all kinds of things you have to take into account, like
Yeah.
paper stocks, whether it's absorbent, the amount of black you could put in, things like that.
Well, zooming in on the collector that bought that piece, because I had like took a screenshot of it and I was zooming in on different sections of it, and there's so much going on too. It's not just the character itself. I mean, if you look at that whole piece as a individually sections, I mean, there's so much work done in every inch by inch square that you did on that piece. It's incredible.
It's a
Yeah.
fun character. It's a fun book. I like the book a lot. It's really wild. Yeah.
When I love it too, because there's such a breadth to your work. Seeing something like if somebody were to pick up your Transformers and then dive in your work and go, oh man, there's Cul-De-Sac and all these other, wilder, crazier, looking pieces. Do you find, because I don't want to say like, do you like hate working on it, but it's interesting. Like, do you find like you have to kind of confine yourself or just think differently when approaching something like Transformers versus something that's more personal, or like your sketchbook, that's something in myopia, something like that? Clearly, yes, but it's kind of
yeah. I mean, but it's not as planned out, and it's not. How do I put this? It's not as deliberate as like, oh, I'm drawing a Transformers cover, so it has to be clean. Like that's not part of my
Right.
thought process. For the Transformers cover, what it was is, I was just like, I'm only going to get to do one of these, I figure, and I never thought, because I learned a lot on how to draw from Transformers the movie as a kid. So like the original cartoon is special to me in a very big way. So I never thought in my life I would get to draw the original characters,
That's awesome.
Just because my sensibility, I was trying to keep it on model.
Yeah.
And nobody told me to do that. That was just what I wanted to do. I wanted to draw something like it looked like from the cartoon. So it was purely for and then David Barron colored it, and I think friend of mine, and then David really punched it up into like something else. I love working with David, but this cover in particular, I feel like David really added a lot to it. And I thought he did a great job,
Yeah,
I'd like to draw one more Transformers cover, but with the cars. But because I like the Autobots.
yeah.
I like the Autobots personally, but
Yeah.
No, I don't
That's
blame
fair.
you.
Yeah, very much an Autobot fan.
Yeah, and then drawing Shockwave is intimidating too, just because I think one of the greatest comic covers ever is actually the Transformers cover, the Are All Dead cover, with Shockwave from the original.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite covers, period, in comics, and
Really, that's so cool.
so
Yeah.
just from drawing Shockwave, I'm already intimidated by that, to be honest.
Yeah, so throw that on top of it. I mean,
I think
yeah.
I think I've got my OAX commission from John now. I'm going to do a Transformers.
I mean, same with, I think again, I think something that connects me with your art is that I don't know if it's just the personal like stuff comes through, like for instance, the Grommets cover, like it's just such a great cover, like capturing that like feeling of like being a kid in an arcade, being lost in the game, like seeing their reflection, like I don't know, it's just such and I find that with a lot of your pieces where I can find something in each and every single one of them that I connect with or pull to, which again, it's art, it's expression, that's part of it. But I just love that. I mean, about both of these, like even, seeing that come through with the Transformers and then hearing that story about how that was such a big part of your childhood growing up. And obviously that translated into this final piece. So.
But even Grommets is like a good example as to why that the style was picked out. And for Grommets, for that style, for that effect that I was trying to do, I had to paint it. There's
Yeah.
no like really like, and then also like with it being 80s, you needed the bright colors and all that. So like I said, that's what informs a lot of my decision making in these kind of pieces. It's not like an editorial mandate. Rick
Yeah.
never told me to paint the cover or whatever. I don't even remember if he even asked me for a color cover, to be honest. But maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't remember. But I'm just saying
Yeah.
that's how the thought process works. I'm thinking about the
Right.
piece, and I kind of do what I feel like I want to do for the piece. That's why the styles. The point I'm making is that's why the styles are shifting so much from cover
Yeah.
to cover.
Right.
Depending on like what you're feeling for each piece, what you're
Yeah.
feeling for the. I mean, it makes sense, and I mean, again, and that's something that I applaud any artist who can so freely kind of maneuver their way. I mean, that was one of the things that pulled me into Scotty and especially finding out, like, as I got into, because I got into his baby covers, of course, but then finding his older work and stuff, again, just seeing the difference. And to me, that just seems such an, even grasping one style per se, or one kind of look, but then to be able to have, all these different covers that are clearly your work, but then still fit, they're each own story, is just such a, and like I said, I have to find that fascinating. So, yeah.
Cool.
It's my compliment. I don't want to keep like
Cool,
making
thank
it
you,
seem
man. I
like I'm just
appreciate
like
Yeah, we're
hype
good.
of it. It's just such an interesting thing to hear,
we're-
and that's what I love about these conversations, about hearing your side of it and your
Yeah.
your thought process behind it and stuff. And I could tell from other interviews and stuff watching you, like you're a very chill person, like talking to you, and like the way you just kind of describe it the way that it is in your mind. There's no like talking around it or something. It's just like, yeah, this is how I felt doing this cover, so that's the reason I did it, kind of a deal. So
Yeah, I wish it was more thought out than that, but
I mean, if
It's
anything,
not,
I think there's too much thought a lot of time with art, where we get too much in our way because we're overthinking the process, when it's
Yeah.
just kind of doing it and going with it. So
yeah.
And then this Gunslinger cover, you were posting some of the art, the OA for this on your Instagram feed.
yeah,
And I was kind of watching the progress of it. And that was a really well done piece too. I mean, doing a
thanks.
Spawn cover anyway is incredible. but yeah, this was impressive.
Yeah, I enjoyed drawing all the little Violator dudes. I love drawing the Violator. I really do.
Yeah.
Because Violator's not scary to me. And because he's not scary, he's fun to me. I enjoy drawing him. It's like, it's cartooning in its purest form. So I'll draw the Violator all day,
What was it? Because I was going to say, you seem like you're a fan of horror. I mean, on the show you did with West Coast Dave, you talked about, and of course I'm blanking on the movie now, the movie that like inspired you as a kid. It wasn't Pinhead. It was oh goodness, I hate that I'm blanking on this now.
A horror movie?
Yeah, it was a horror movie. Yeah, that
Videodrome?
I don't think it was that one, because even Dave said this. It was like one that he knew that was your favorite too. That I think you were talking about how being able to see, because I think what you were working on at the time, you said seeing that movie inspired you to know that other people were working on stuff that kind of fit that same. I think it was, maybe
Oh,
it
that was Eraserhead. That's
Eraserhead. That's it.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Eraserhead. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it seems,
that was when I was like 21, 22,
Yeah.
because like I saw Razorhead. I finished a project that was kind of the genesis of all this. Long story short, I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, when I finished that project, I was very much on my own, because even my friends didn't understand what I was trying to do. People didn't understand, but I had a very clear idea what I was trying to do. And just while I was working on it, you feel very alone at that point, because you're literally on your own, But after I finished that, I saw Eraserhead, and then not that I was trying to do Eraserhead, but I felt like it was in the same vein of what I was attempting to communicate. So just because of that, it just felt nice not to be alone. It felt that somebody else had to. I don't know if Lynch went through the struggle, but like, projecting myself into it, maybe he went through that schedule, but it felt good that somebody else was there. You know what I mean? Or that I think someone else was there. Yeah.
No, I mean, it's like you said, I mean, to have something, like Cul-De-Sac, the response it had, and how it, connected with people and stuff. Like you said, it's very different. And granted, that's what like called out to me and what made me stop and look at it and stuff. But I'm sure it's difficult to deal with when, like you said, if there's a certain style that's in, whatever it is in style for, the decade or whatever it is, and to be able, to go against it and go, oh, that's fine, but like, this is what I want to pursue. This is the things that I feel. But so then to have somebody like-minded who did something similar to inspire is I'm sure that's got to be such a really cool thing, especially after finishing a project that's similar, to then see that and go, wow, this person gets it. Like this person is on the same wavelength. So
yeah, and I had a teacher behind me that was Cameron Wasson, that was really just pushing it. You know what I mean? Because I initially, when I did the first few images and I showed him some people, the response was really just like people weren't liking it at all. And then, but she was really just like, you got to go on and figure this thing out. All those things help out. They don't seem like they do, but they do. And
No, I
as
mean,
time
that's
passes, you realize how important it was too.
yeah.
Because you don't realize it's important at the time.
Certainly. No, I mean, it's such a big, especially if you're doing something that's different, even if it's, artistic, because again, it's all expression, it's all creative and subjective. So especially if you're doing something that isn't connecting maybe with the people around you, but you're connecting with it. So to have somebody like a teacher like that behind you is really cool, because there's so many people that don't have that, who have the opposite and, get told to dial it back or whatever. So it's awesome to see somebody continue to like persevere and continue to do the things they do. And then you get something like Cul-De-Sac that releases, and it opens up the door for more people and shows that like, hey, this has been acceptable this entire time. It's just, it wasn't hitting the right people, or, whatever it is that maybe they weren't connecting with it as much.
Real quick, I was gonna mention Only the Savage Are Left. You had posted in your Instagram story today that Golden Apple has this. There's going to be one of the distributors for this book too, that are extremely limited. So make sure and check them out if you're interested in picking up one of these awesome variant covers by John. And
some of these,
the Nectar covers are just insane. And the four issues, this is the fourth one that completes the story for it. But it reminded me whenever I first saw the Nectar one cover that you had, John, whenever Something Is Killing the Children first came out, and you had the cover for that, which is iconic now. But Jenny Friesen's cover, which was a ratio variant cover at the time, is one that became like, it was almost as popular as cover A. And this one, I told Tyler when I thought this was cover A at first, because it was being posted all over the social media about how impressive it was. Yeah, but I mean, cover A is impressive as well. But this one, what was the process for creating what kind of details did they tell you about the book or anything before you had to create this masterpiece here?
Well, it was just sorry, did the sound get weird? Or okay, anyway.
No, you're good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it was just I'll be honest, I don't remember what the process was with it. It was kind of like the idea was approved, and then I just did a watercolor piece. It's mostly watercolor, which is hard for me to do. There's a little bit of opaques gouache on like some of the highlights, but it's probably like 85-90% watercolor. And I enjoyed it just for that, because for me, watercolor is very difficult. Watercolor is my favorite medium, but I'm really bad at it. So I considered it successful just in that I was trying to do what I was trying to do. As for it was one of those things where it's like I did it in watercolor, and it was like kind of, I was expecting to go in with a lot of opaques, but the watercolor just worked.
Yeah.
So I just left it alone, and I was like, this feels right, and I'll just leave it alone. It's one of those pieces that just kind of came out, and it's like every once in a long while, something just works and it comes together very quickly. I remember the piece came together really quickly, like where I was like kind of shocked, because I'm generally at these days working on a lot of things at the same time.
Yeah.
And what I do remember about the piece, outside of like the watercolor working, is that it came together actually really quickly. And then that's about all I remember for the process of it.
That's
was watercolor, was that something you targeted specifically, or was it just something you were like, hey, I'm just going to try this out, for this piece, see how it goes? Again, kind of talking back to like whether you felt it kind of a deal.
Yeah, it was no reason other than I had watercolor paper. And I was like, I'll do watercolor. Yeah.
That's awesome.
You see,
Yeah,
well,
I try to
this turned out
use what
really
I
well.
have.
Yeah.
I try to use what I have, I like working on watercolor paper. I like working on illustration board. But illustration board, I find when you're trying to do transparent washes to be limiting, even though like cul-de-sac was all
Yeah.
on Bristol board and I did all the transparent washes on there. But they act differently and the way you control them on the different papers is different,
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, completely
Yeah.
understand. I mean, yeah, for not because like you said, watercolor is. I've only dabbled with it, but it just seems like such a difficult medium to grasp. But it's interesting because I'm seeing more and more artists, or I'm recognizing more and more artists who are using it. Like Jared Cullum or I think Morgan Beam. She also works, and so seeing those artists and the control they're able to get over that medium is such an interesting deal. Because like I said, you can get some really gorgeous pieces out of it. And that Nectar one was 100%.
Yeah, I don't think you give yourself enough credit for that one. That one was really. You say you're not good at what? Yeah, that's really good. And that was displayed at OAX as well too. Correct.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
what was.
yeah.
Yeah. So that was.
That was really
this
cool
is
to see that one.
this one. I had no idea what the story was until I saw your cover as we were doing research for this show, and I just kind of read the backstory on this cover. It's kind of a bounty hunter for demons. It's set to a Western motif. So this is one that I may have to go check out just because of the storyline of it.
Yeah, the story's super cool. I was trying to do like a very ethereal kind of cover. I was trying to make it soft and like only sharp in certain areas. That's basically just the idea behind this one.
Yeah. No, I mean you sold it. I mean, I love the colors in this one. I love the soft glow on like his fingers and hands or like around the edge of his arms. And just more like the pastel muted colors in the back with her. I mean, you completely capture what you were aiming for. So such an intriguing cover.
Yeah, kind of, because I was actually only going to paint his face.
Oh, really?
If you're interested in what's going into it, I was actually only going to
absolutely.
paint his face, and the rest of it was going to be a drawing.
Yeah.
And then she was supposed to be like lighter and actually more ghostly, actually. Like, but things change as you do the piece. So then I ended up adding more color to it and things like that. So that's an idea. That's like an example of like how I had a totally different intention than what the actual cover actually came out.
Yeah. But it's interesting because and I think because it's next. Yeah, like Cul-De-Sac, listening to you, it sounded very much like that same process of again the interiors you were going to do. Like you had no intention of painting or doing full-fledged paintings, for faces and stuff, but like a lot of it just kind of worked out that way, just by the process, it seems. So
yeah, well, Cul-De-Sac was supposed to be look like a pretty straightforward comic. The first two issues were like fully completed by the time we made the coloring decision. And then what happened was, again, we got David Barron to color it and he did a great job. But David told Dinesh, he's like, dude, just have John color it. Yeah. He's like, he'll tell you, he's like, I fired myself. That's what he said. But he goes, have John color it, man. And then I remember, I think it was Emerald City Comic-Con, Dinesh saw the Myopia sketchbook. And then I remember the comment. Dinesh goes up to me. He's like, "Why aren't you doing this?" And I was like, "What are you talking about, man?" He's like, "Why aren't you doing this for Cul-De-Sac?" I was like, "You actually want me to do this?" And I'm like, "Do you know what you're asking?" And he goes, "Yeah, do this." And I'm like, "I'm gonna push it pretty far." He's like, "Push it as far as you want." I'm like, "Okay." So that's where it came from, So the issue 3 was being drawn at that point, and that's when the actual decision was made. So I had to go back to issue 1, issue 2, color those. Wow. And then issue 3 was probably halfway or more than that drawn at that point. And then issue 4 and issue 5 are the ones that and issue 6 are where I went into it with the intention of this is what it's going to look like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And again, with the Cul-De-Sac covers, I was kind of trying something different or trying to try something different with each one of them. Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, I just realized they all have a pen and ink element to them. So like, it's not that different.
No, I mean, I mean, they definitely.
You can see. Yeah.
Yeah, like we didn't get like one of my favorites. Of course, I didn't bring it out. I should have brought it out. It was the exclusive you did for Third Eye. With his face. Like I was just, man, it was just such a intense. I mean, there's so many panels like that throughout the series that I just love. That it's just, again, it almost felt kind of like the Spider-Man from earlier. Your work almost feels 3D in a sense that it's like jumping off the page. Like it's not. And part of that, with Cul-De-Sac, one of the reasons I loved it was the panel work was so fluid. It wasn't, your average, like you said, comic where it's, box and box and box. Like it was just, I don't know, just the flow from page to page was just so much more there that like it felt like a moving, like an animatic or something you were watching. So
Yeah, no, and Odin's a good example actually, because I was working on that just because I was working on that around the same time I was working on the Dead Acre cover, and Odin was supposed to be a fully painted kind of cover, and then I kind of worked his face, and I was like, that's it,
yeah.
and I was like, that's as far as that's gonna go. So they actually flip flopped each other,
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. I mean, it's and I think it's a perfect because you're so obviously good at recognizing that of like getting into something and maybe having the intention with something else, but going, nope, this is perfect, and going with that rather than fighting it or just saying, shrugging it off is like, no, it's just kind of like a last minute idea, which I think can maybe happen for some people where it's like, oh, I'll stick to what I was going to originally kind of do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get attention. That's the bottom line with cover artwork. You're just trying to get attention.
Yeah.
It's the age-old thing. You got to be like screaming off the racks to get anybody's attention. You know what I mean? So,
what type of media did you use for the interiors? Because one of the pictures I meant to add to the slides I didn't get to is like you showed some pictures of the original art, and the pages were like curled up from where it looked like there was so much media put on there. So, what all did you put to create the individual pages?
well, they're all on Bristol board because they're originally just supposed to be pen and ink, and then once we decided to paint them, I stuck with the Bristol board just to keep like a unified look to the whole thing. So that's why everything's so curled up. If I went into it with the intention of coloring it, it'd be on a heavier board. But the medias are just like watercolor, ink dyes, acrylic, colored pencil, gouache, a lot of gouache. I mainly paint in gouache. The acrylic is generally just for like if I need to throw in something I need to draw over, but I mostly paint in gouache. So it's the same media as I use for just about everything.
You just find that like you just lean more toward like, is it like a feel or like the color turnout, or I'm just kind of curious if there's like a specific, or if it's just more like a feeling, like it just, you resonate with it.
Gouache is more opaque than acrylic is. Acrylic is thin, it's transparent by nature a lot of times. I'm also very sloppy, so I add too much water. So like the fact that gouache has like it's just, and then also gouache is like, it's not plastic. Acrylic is actually plastic, and gouache has a more organic feel to it. But it's mostly that, just the color intensity. It works better, and like I think the color looks nicer in general. My favorite painters use it. Bob Peak, Bernie Fuchs, all those guys.
Yeah.
So it just works for me. I like the last Cul-De-Sac cover was in acrylic. But acrylic like is fully in acrylic, and then the second cover is fully in acrylic actually.
I'll go back real quick.
Yeah, so we can see.
But I find that I just can work faster in gouache as well. But yeah, so the last one's acrylic and the second one's an acrylic.
Interesting. Yeah. No, I mean it's like you said. I mean your colors, especially through this, I mean they pop and stand out. And it's it makes sense for, again, where you're trying to draw the eye, and it's just interesting to cause I don't, or I know a lot of people will choose acrylic, so I was curious. I know gouache is just as used out there, but just always curious to kind of get the artist input into why they kind of lean towards it. But you had talked a little bit with Dave about like your color choices, because he had asked you, and I was curious as well, and just in how you lay that down and choose how to get that flow like correct, like as you're painting the comic, especially if you went in not making that decision at first. How do you then go back to issues 1 and 2 and kind of rethink that process in a way, or like revisit it in terms of adding color to it? Just kind of curious if that changes versus like being able to keep that in mind when creating the comic for the first time for the later issues.
No, because Cul-De-Sac is it's because first of all, it has to be done really fast. But because of that, or not because of that, but basically with Cul-De-Sac, I really don't have an idea of what it's going to be. The pages themselves, like they're drawn out in pen and ink. They're fairly detailed, unless there's something I really know I want to do, which is not very often. Like the watercolor piece, with the little girl hugging the guy, that had to be planned out because I was like, that's going to be a painting, that's a watercolor piece. But for something like this, I draw it out and then the color decisions are made later, and it's purely by like touch and feel. It's like I go by what's trying to be told in the story, and I try to emphasize what's trying to be told. And it's just literally like laying down colors where I feel like I should lay down colors, and then I add to it if I feel like I need to add to it. And it's really by instinct, as
Yeah.
much as possible. And that's, again, it works, and then it also causes problems at time. If there are any beginning illustrators or cartoonists, you really shouldn't work that way. You're not no, because it makes things faster.
I got you.
If you do like color roughs and if everything's thought out, you get everything done and you're out by 5. When you're doing what I'm doing, I'm like doing it, put it to the side, I look at it, this and that. There's a whole process to it that makes it not necessarily long, but it's a very involved process.
More involved, yeah. But I mean, I would imagine that it played into it being able to be given that freedom to kind of express yourself and try something new and do something that you maybe weren't expecting to be able to get to kind of do with this comic. I assume that that lends itself kind of like you were talking about the commissions where you want to make it especially if you're given the opportunity to the best of your ability.
Yeah, the only thing I know for sure is that if there is a cul-de-sac too, I want there to be, I want it to be, I actually want it to be more experimental. And that's me purely talking out of my ass because I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do on it. That's just my sense is I would want it to be experimental.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I would do with it though.
Well, that was one of the questions that we had from Brady per year that he was asking, is there going to be a follow-up to Cul-de-Sac? Are there any other series that you're planning on drawing all the interiors for?
I hope there's another cul-de-sac because I love the book and I love the characters. I think one more series should do it, and I would love to take those characters and do another series for sure. So hopefully that happens, apparently
I'm hoping
the first issue is being put out again. So
I know,
release, FOC is available now for August 12th. It's the director's cut of Cul-de-Sac and the 1 in 20 Virgin variant of issue 1. And this one, it's supposedly, we were talking about this a little bit before the show. There's some extra stuff in issue 1, that concept art and things like that may not have been in the original issue 1. So it's definitely worth, even if you own issue 1, it's definitely worth checking this one out too, just to have the complete, especially if Cul-de-Sac 2 comes out. And then this one, sorry, I didn't want to skim over this one.
No, yeah.
Do you own one of these? Did you get one of the 36?
Oh yeah, I have one of those. Yeah.
Do you really? I looked up to buy one on eBay, and I think the cheapest one I saw was $10,000. So I thought,
holy cow!
Yeah. So,
but yeah, so just so people know, that's not a stake cut in half. That's glued onto that thing. They actually drove that thing through it. The plastic went through the comic book. I was as shocked as anybody else, but yeah, they drove that thing through there. Man.
Well, they said they hired like 3 engineers to heat up and like cool off the plastic so it wouldn't crack in order to get it pushed through. And then they
figure out how to like perfectly get it still encapsulated. Yeah,
a woodworker or whatever they're called that was in the business for 30 years is who made the stakes. I mean, they spared no expense on this thing. This is
Oh, they're beautiful. I love them.
Yeah.
I wish more people could see them in person. I mean, because I think they're pretty rare, but it's fantastic. It really is. I love it.
I was super tempted to get. I read the first issue and saw that. I was super tempted. I was like, the price point I just couldn't afford at the time, but it was
just
such a cool, unique piece. For such a cool, unique story that it's super fitting. I mean, I love stuff like that. So
I think it's such a great idea, and I'm just thankful that they got that thing to work, man.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Like you said, it's shocking us for an encapsulate. I mean, like they were, they put that everywhere. It's like, no, this isn't some gimmick. It's not cut in half. Like this, the stake is going literally through the comic and everything. So
now, do you display yours or do you have it stored away? Because I think I'd have to look at that every day.
Oh yeah, it's just in the studio. My studio is I have the most boring studio, as you can see. It's actually kind of embarrassing, but I do nothing with my studio. I just work and I throw everything on the floor.
I like that. I mean, there's a simple, there's a nice quality to this because then you get the opposite where like my room is completely covered head to toe as well as the floor, and it's like there's sometimes I walk in, I'm like, okay, this is a little bit too much, a little bit too overwhelming.
Overwhelming. Yeah.
That's great. I love that though. But like my favorite thing I've seen was in terms of a workspace is the guy that does Crying Freeman. I can't say his name. One of my favorite manga artists ever. He did Mai the Psychic Girl, which is one of my favorite mangas. But his studio, he has such a he just has like a bunch of boards stacked up, and he places a board against a bunch of phone books stacked up, and he just places a board against it, and then he just has like used newspapers, not even paper towels, to dab his brush, and that's what he used to draw with. It's like no like pretty setup or anything.
Wow.
And I love that. I love that there are guys that still like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I would have to make. I haven't heard of that one. Mai the Psychic Girl.
That's like early on. He's mostly known for Crying Freeman and Heat and things like that. But I love Mai the Psychic Girl. I think it's just a fun book.
Yeah, I'm always on the lookout for more anime and manga recommendations. So, yeah, definitely gonna have to add that to the list.
All right, so make sure you hit up your local comic shop and get this ordered, and try to speak, do like Seth and Tyler do and claim the 21-20 ratio variant early before someone else claims it.
Yeah.
So clean, such a clean cut for that.
I'm happy they're doing that.
I know, yeah, it is cool to see. And then same with like the Kickstarter. Like I signed up for the Kickstarter to be alerted whenever it launches. It's not live yet, so you can still go save this for whenever they launch it and go live. But yeah, I mean, to be able to support again, that's the thing with these books is like if you want to see more of them, then you got to buy them. You got to buy, the stuff that comes out and keep supporting it so that they realize or know that like people want more of this kind of stuff. So,
that's true.
Happy to do that. Yeah. So
support Cul-De-Sac. You want to see another one? Support Cul-De-Sac. That's how all these things work.
It's easy.
Get the anniversary. Get the Kickstarter. Yeah.
And believe me, I want to draw Cul-De-Sac too. Believe me, man.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's another one where it's such an interesting world that the two of you built, and so I love to see it continued. There's still more story there to be told, and without saying anything. So I 100% would love to see more of that. And it was interesting too because we talked about before we went live, like the news, because the comic itself is news print or newspaper. Versus something like this where, whether or not they go with that or they go with like a more refined paper. Because I was one of the things like normally that textile texture, like I'm like, but like for some reason I was like Cul-De-Sac, I was like, oh, this works like so perfectly. It's such an interesting paper to go with this. But like you said, it's also different reading it from the iPad. So
yeah, but I wonder how it looks digitally. Actually, I haven't looked at it digitally. But
I was gonna
anyway,
say,
yeah, no, I was happy to do it on newsprint. I wanted it on newsprint. I knew there was going to be like a certain level of quality loss with using newsprint because that's how newsprint is. But I felt like it was appropriate for the book, and I liked it.
Yeah. No, I like there was something again. I think your artwork lends itself to that because there's so much texture in your artwork that is almost like a physical representation of like what it would feel like to touch your art if there was more, raised or 3D, if you will. So I like that accompaniment like with the artwork itself. But I was it's obviously not gonna be great because I'm showing a screen, but because I had missed one of the issues. I had unfortunately issue 3 for some reason my store sold out of. So I had to get it digitally, and it was interesting seeing it on the iPad. It was a lot brighter is one of the things I noticed, like just like the colors and everything just pop a bit more. I guess this is spoilers for people. This is issue 3. So
spoilers, sorry. So,
yeah. No, with newsprint, it definitely drops the saturation quite a bit.
Yeah,
actually, so it will be much brighter. It might be shocking how much brighter it is to see it digitally.
It was like a night and day. So it was interesting, because I read like 1 and 2, and then like jumped to iPad, and it was like back to physical for the other one. So,
and I don't know what kind of newsprint they used, but if it's like I know it's a quality newsprint. It's a really good quality newsprint.
Yeah.
If it even is newsprint, but like I've done like covers for like newspapers and things like that before, and newsprint will degrade over time, so it'll actually get darker.
Yeah.
It's just like your old comics too. That's why your old comics yellow and like things like that. That's just the nature of it, which I think is nice. Sometimes. Yeah. Some of my comics have faded so bad, though. I don't know if it's that nice, but
it is. It's difficult to read. So. Yeah, we also want to mention some heavy
Formatting.
metal. You've got some stories in heavy metal. I need to pick these up. I didn't know. I haven't been picking up heavy metal, like I know of it, but definitely would want to just to read your stories, let alone the other stuff that's in there. But excuse the typo stuff, the horror.
Yeah, it's
R.
formatted. It looked right when we were
Not a
working
new
on it.
genre, it's just horror. So
yeah. So this was from issue 1. This is just a page from issue 1, and then the page from issue 2. So how many of these have you did in total?
4. I did 1, 2, 3. Issue 3. I wasn't in issue 4. I'm in issue 5. Yeah, so I'm working on another story with them as well. I enjoy working with heavy metal because they kind of just let me do whatever I want, and it's also like literally let me do whatever I want.
yeah,
And
that's nice.
they are it's just a legacy thing that's important to me. Just because the old 70s and 80s heavy metals I absolutely love. And the reason why I am going so wild with them, almost to the point of nonsense, is because that's what the old school guys did. You know what I mean? They went absolutely berserk.
Yeah.
And there's no
Yeah.
other like publisher that's going to let me go berserk. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to push it just as far as I possibly can. That's like the point to the heavy metal stuff I'm doing. And like issue 3 is I did 3 pages, and it's highly experimental storytelling, and that's what I'm trying to do with heavy metal. I'm just trying to push it as far as I can. You know, I mean, the issue 1 and 2, especially issue 2, are more conventional. The one I'm working on now, I don't know what direction that's going in yet. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it quite a bit.
I bet.
Well, it seems like right in your wheelhouse of like the stuff that you'd prefer to do more often if you could. So it's cool to be able to given that opportunity to do something like that. And I like it too because it's like you get a taste of so many different artists and their storytelling and stuff with something like this. So
yeah, I like playing with the absurd. They do have color and tone to them. So they're I'm doing some painting on them as well. So they're not printed in just black and white.
Okay, nice. There is something. It's because it's an interesting thing because I find I love because I wouldn't say it's a resurgence, but I just love having more often now the option to get something in black and white, like Tokyo Ghost or Ghost Tokyo. No, Tokyo Ghost. They just did their Kickstarter where they did the black and white edition. Mark Miller included one with his. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, I thought that came out a long time ago. They just did a Kickstarter for that.
Yeah, they just did another one. They did it for like the 10th anniversary, I think it was. So they did a specific like black and white edition, and then they also included like the original like sketches and stuff in the back. So it'll be released to the public. But yeah, I never read it. And so I backed the Kickstarter without even having. I was just like, man, this artwork looks fantastic. I want to dive into this world. And before I got it, I actually picked up the 2 soft trades so that way I at least have it in color to like be able to read the 2 different versions. So I love black and white. I mean, I love color too, but there's just something about like the black and white inks and a original look that just is so intriguing. So
I love black and white comics, but I read mostly manga. But I love it. Here, let me close that shade so I don't.
Yeah, no, yeah,
no.
Light there in your eyes.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Perfect. Well, maybe unbeknownst to some people, you also have a film credit because you did a creature design for Dustpenny, which is a fantastic movie. I was super excited for this movie, and then I didn't realize you had worked on it, and then you posted about your stuff you did, and I was like, oh, that makes me even more excited. And it's such a fun film. Nicholson does a fantastic job as usual, and it's such a I don't know, it was just different than I was kind of even expecting, in a good way, like in the best way possible. So
yeah, Brian's great. I worked on the initial or early designs for it, but it's all Brian. You know what I mean? That's his thing. I just helped him out. But it was just a great story, and I'm happy he was able to make the movie. I mean, I love the stuff Brian does. I love Pushing Daisies. I really
Yeah.
love that.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's
like
that's
really, really
the
love
the
that.
pie maker, the pie maker. Yeah,
Yeah, and then
yeah,
Hannibal is great. I thought Hannibal
great.
was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm so happy he got to do this. I worked with him one time before for
Yeah.
the Addams Family TV special that came out like a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
I actually did like quite a few characters on that, but the only thing I think they even referenced was Spot that I
Oh.
used. I think everything else they just threw out.
Really.
Yeah.
But he's great to work with, and
Yeah.
Brian is just so creative. It's
Yeah.
just wild what he comes up with.
Yeah.
So, and I'm
No, I
happy
mean
with how
it's
Dust Bunny came out. And I'm happy it's
yeah.
in theaters. I'm happy for him.
Yeah. No, same. And it's such a, I mean, I'm such a big fan of the theaters. Like I've got my Stubbs A-list. So like I go pretty much 2 to 4 times a week or a month, 2 to 4 times a
Nice.
month to go see movies and stuff. I just did it growing up. And so seeing something like this, it was so fun on the big screen. Like you said, I was super glad that they got a theater release for it. And like you said, just such a creative and fun movie, like the world building and design and story and stuff. So I was going to include like the look of it in the movie, but I was like, I'll hold off for people to go watch it. Like, please go watch the movie.
Leave
Go see
some
the
mystery.
design. Like
Yes.
it's such a fun, like even seeing the concept, like once you see it like in person and you can see, behind the scenes stuff online as well for it. But yeah, it's such a fun design and so cool that they brought you in to work on something like that. So
Yeah, if you can't make it to the theater to see it, or there's not one playing close to you, it is currently streaming on HBO Max. So definitely check it out.
Yeah, I was gonna say sorry. It's just streaming. Yeah, it's been out of the theaters for a while now, but definitely streaming on HBO. Yeah. So, and then your sketchbook. Yeah, your lives. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Dustin.
No, it's like I was first introduced to it almost whenever Simon was on, and Scotty came on the last little bit of it. But that was a wild ride because I went back and watched it pre-Scotty, and like Simon's wild. Like that was a lot of fun. Now, were you and Eric like how do you handle a guest that's that much fun that's got that much energy like Simon does, where you don't really know where he's going?
Well, Eric's friends with Simon, so he was kind of
okay.
I think on a certain level he expected it.
I loved it. It was great.
We actually had him all set up to draw and everything, but he wouldn't draw. we actually tested his setup and everything the night before, and everything was like good to go. But he was a great guest. Simon was interesting because while being entertaining, he got very technical and he got to talk about like really in depth about art and creating artwork and what it means to him. So I really enjoyed Simon's episode, but we've had, I'm very happy. All of our guests have been great. Everybody, we're trying to keep it unique. People who have unique points of views, people who are like really trying to express themselves and do something different. That's the kind of artists we're trying to have on the show. And just having everybody's different perspectives from everybody from like Paul Komoda to Simon, the George Pratt show, George was great because George really had a lot of insight and just a lot of fantastic stories to tell. And then George is just a mad scientist, like a just brilliant technician. And then Brian has like this really insane approach to like painting that I think is completely crazy, but it makes sense to him. So it's been really great for Eric and I as well, just to be, but I have a lot of artist friends. You don't talk shop with your artist friends really that much. You know what I mean? So it's kind of nice to be able to do that and sketch with people, so it's been a great experience, and Eric is really fantastic to work with, and really it's all thanks to Eric that this is even going.
Yeah, and there's 11 shows, or there's 10 shows so far, and the 11th one that's about to come up is the one that is June 27th with Gris Grimley, who's another incredible artist. I can't wait to watch that one either. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about Gris. Talk with Gris. I haven't spoken to Gris for a long time. Gris used to be a regular at Comic Cons in the early days and all that, and Gris was just. I mean, his artwork's brilliant. He's got like these great children's books, and he used to show up at cons with like all this merchandise, like all these T-shirts, and he would set it up as a shop. Everything Gris does is top notch. So I can't wait to talk to him. It's going to be a good show.
Well, here's one of the pieces I got the last time he opened up his commission.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. So it's great, and it's not doing it justice. screen here, but I asked him to do a Gert from I Hate Fairyland.
That's
And
cool.
seeing the process for it, just he was like posting pics on his Instagram feed was incredible. So this will be a great show. Do you think he'll be drawing on that show as well, or do you?
Oh yeah, no,
Is
he'll
that
be
what-
drawing. Everybody
Okay.
draws. It just wasn't Simon, but like
Just
everybody
Simon,
draws.
okay.
Yeah.
I
Just
just,
too
I
lost
wanted
in
to
the
make sure.
conversation.
Yeah, and
I-
then when we bring Simon back, we're making him draw. He's not going to get away with not drawing again. Yeah.
Have
Get
to
out
watch
of it
that one.
once. Yeah,
So-
get one freebie.
Yeah.
Well, how did the
I mean,
show come about? How did the show come about with you and
Yeah.
Eric? Like, how was the?
It was Eric's idea. Eric was like, "You want to live stream?" And I was like, "Cool, let's do it." I mean, it was as basic as that. Like, I think it was New York we were talking about that. I don't remember if that's what it was. So we did like an Instagram live stream, and I thought, I had a misunderstanding of what it was. So I thought we just did that, and then we did that. That went well. We had a lot of fun. We had like good chemistry, and then he's just like, "So what do you want to do for the next one?" And I was like, "Oh, there's a next one." So then that kind of, but it became like, so we just kept rolling with it, and I'm really happy we did. I enjoyed it a lot, and like I said, just amazing crew of artists that we got that we were fortunate enough to like be guests on our show. So I'm very happy with it. Hope to keep it going for a while. So we got Gris, we got a few more like really fun guests coming up after Gris as well.
No, I'd say, man,
Oh,
it's so fun. You know, I love that we get to do this as fans of the artwork, but it's cool to see, you know, Ink Pulp or you guys with Sketchbook Livestream. Like, I love watching artist with artist and chatting and talking. And like, and again, like you said, you don't really get to talk shop or talk medium and really kind of dig into each other's, you know, passions and choices and all that kind of stuff. So it's just really fun, the conversations that, you know, because when you're at conventions, like you guys are at your tables, you're not really getting to like chat and stuff, and we don't get to see that. So to be able to watch that firsthand is super cool.
Fly on the wall.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Hope that keeps going for sure. So yeah, I put the link in the description. Again, you can go subscribe to that. You'll get notifications for when they go live. So definitely go sub to that if you haven't or weren't aware of it. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, art show. This is our favorite part of the show, John. This is where we get to watch.
Oh, this is when I show off stuff right here.
That's where you get to show off stuff if you want to.
All right. Well,
as much as you want.
Oh, this is technically kind of the last. After this is like the plugs and stuff. So
the plugs and favorite things. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, this thing I'm going to show because I already showed some of it, but what I wanted to bring up with this is the cover for the 4th issue. Every time I do a new issue, I actually paint over this cover. So this will be gone in like a few weeks, and then I'll have a new cover. So that's how I treat that. And anyway,
that's super.
Some more of this. Again, it's like anything else. It's whatever I feel like at the time. But it's my favorite thing to do. I'll be doing more of them, hopefully more often. So that's that.
That's super cool.
Here is one of the
oh my gosh,
the Nectar covers, live and in person on watercolor paper. It's heavy watercolor paper, but it's still warped. That's how liberal I am with the water.
And then that's for issue 4 right there.
This is for issue 3. This is issue 3.
Oh, issue 3. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I think that's out in stores right now. Yeah.
Okay. So it's the last one that came out. I got you.
And then this is the Cul-De-Sac number 2. And then what you don't see in the print, and I don't think I can get going here. It's actually super thickly textured.
Yeah.
Wow,
it's like extremely glossy. You're not going to see it, but anyway.
Catching the
lights hitting,
yeah, like especially like up in here, it's like pretty heavy and like around the face. I don't get to do that a whole lot, and I could only do that with acrylics.
Okay.
This is another Cul-De-Sac cover right here, just so you can see like the size of these things.
Yeah.
Like
wow,
this is the size of like a comic page.
Oh wow.
Let's see. It's at least 2-3 times.
Oh yeah. That's it.
But you see,
like you said, you generally kind of reserve that size for, or not reserve, but like you like working that size and can generally with covers at least.
Yeah, I mean, I just did some covers that were 11 by 17. Anyway, this is one of the pages from Violator. See how huge this thing is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My gosh. Yeah,
is that one extended at the top there? Or?
Yeah, because I didn't pencil it out completely enough, so I needed to extend it. So I just like
that's so awesome.
You know, put like an extra sheet of paper. You can see the seam right here.
I love that.
I had to do this because it was actually falling apart.
Yeah, Jerry's calling dibs on that one. He's
Okay.
he's
And then probably like this piece I'm just showing you, it's a Dead Acre cover, but I'm just showing you how ridiculous size this one was. I normally don't work at this size, but this is just dumb.
Holy
they
cow.
just keep getting bigger. This isn't good.
Well, this
Wow.
one was as simple as I had a sheet of watercolor paper, and I was just like, I don't want to cut it down, man. And then it got cropped in, so I was just like, it's just pure laziness. I was like, I don't want to cut it down. I'll just cover the whole thing, and it just made that piece like a nightmare because it took so much time.
Wow.
I was gonna say, yeah, how quicker it'd be cutting it, but you're like, nope.
Yeah.
Like let's just dive in.
Yeah. So is that
That's
enough for
gorgeous.
or
Oh, that's
No, I mean,
that's plenty.
yeah,
That's
those
plenty.
are
That's good.
those are fantastic
cool.
pieces.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
like those are
cool. I know they're hard to look at, online, or on a video,
Well, I was gonna say to you, and I don't have the link for it, but I love how you keep your comic art fans live. You keep it updated, like you post your art there frequently, which is really cool to be able to then go into your gallery and see all your pieces and everything. So if you go on a
I tried to
Wayshak, so
yeah, I'm gonna pull up the site here so I can.
Posting online takes more time than you think it does.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, I've gotten so behind. Even like I used to be so good about posting like new pickups on Instagram and stuff. And like if you get behind or it's just kind of piles up, and like, oh yeah, I was gonna post that, and like you said, trying to, because you do a great job of capturing them too, which is nice. I mean, like some people, just get a quick picture, but like it seems like you actually, try your best to, like you said, like you've did previously with trying to make it to where what you're viewing is as if you were viewing the actual art itself. So
I'm trying to control it as much as possible, but you can't control a lot of it, but as much as I possibly can, just to make the best representation of artwork.
No, I mean, I think you do. It's some of the best art captures I've seen in terms of like just being like, oh, that is the art. I don't have to worry about it. Like, whatever it is. So especially with sizes like that, where it's like not just simple enough to just scan that in, I imagine. So
well, luckily honestly, it's not that bad these days. Everything's so quick, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, no, true. Yeah, true. So this is just the plug. This is just plugging your upcoming appearances at conventions. So you've got San Diego Comic-Con coming up July 23rd to the 26th. It seems like that because I know, I believe you grew up in California. You love California, that area. Yeah. So I know this is a big convention for you. So
I'll be at San Diego. Always going to San Diego. So just continuing the tradition.
Yeah, I've got to get back out there at some point. I've been twice now, and it was both times were super fun. So I'd love to go do it again. So
it's a big show. It's massive.
It is. It's super. Yeah, it's super overwhelming. The first time I walked in, I was just like, I don't even know where to begin walking at this show. So
yeah.
Then the Cape and Cal Con on August 30th. Yeah, in Alameda, California. This is another one of those free shows that's for all ages. So it's this. We had Derek Loffman on last week, and he hit up 2 festivals up in Canada. And he said he loves going to them just because they're free and they're people of all ages come up to the table. This one, and there's another one later on that we're going to talk about for you that has that same aspect. So I think that's something that'd be very appealing to an artist.
Cape and Cal Con. It's run by the shop, the Cape and Cal shop, and one of the best shops in the Bay Area. And it's just they organize a fantastic show. Really, it's a one-day show. It's packed. It's at a brewery and it just kills, you know what I mean? From like opening to ending. And it's just a great community show, great vibe, great people. And I'm from the Bay Area, an excuse to be in the Bay Area. And it's free. Why not? You know what I mean? But it's a great show. And they have like they always have a great lineup of creators as well.
No, it's super cool. I love the poster they had Brett Parsons do that they posted. And Brett Parsons is one of my favorite artists. So I was like, oh man, that looks like a Brett Parsons poster to me. So
yeah. Brett's great.
Yeah.
All right, then Dragon Con. I was going to ask you. I didn't realize this show ran the full 96 hours from Thursday.
I was unaware of that. I knew it was a crazy show, but I didn't realize it was that level of intense.
No,
so.
that's how they were selling it to me, man. They're like never closing and everything. I'm like, dude, I'm old, man. I'm not going out all night. But so this is gonna be my first time in Dragon Con, first time in Atlanta. So
really? Okay.
Really,
East Coast.
I'm really looking forward to this show. I'm curious what it's gonna be like. I'm curious what Atlanta's like. and I think it's going to be fun. And I think I'm going to be with Eric Talbot. I think he's going to be set up. Oh, I hope he's set up next to me. But
That'll be
nice.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm really looking forward to this show.
Yeah, Robert Berman said, "See you there." So that's that's
okay.
good.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is I've always heard this show lasts to Monday, which is kind of unique for a con. I just never realized the 24 hours, cycle for it. So it'll be interesting to see who all actually takes advantage of that and stays, into the AM hours, because I have to get in bed like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So I struggle. I struggle
I
mightily
wish
with
I
that,
could.
so,
Man.
yeah. So
I wish I could do that, man. I'm supposed to, but I don't. I'm a night
Yeah.
person, but I wake up early to work, so I'm exhausted all the time.
Yeah.
I'm in a similar boat. Yeah, I like my 9 hours. So
Yeah.
I've got to get out there at some point. Dragon Con is an endurance match. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I don't know how I'm going to survive that one then, man.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. Jerry's a teacher. Jerry always 1 week into the fall semester. Bad timing. Yeah, well,
Oh, that sucks, dude.
yeah. CrockerCon. This is another one at the Crocker Art Museum. That I saw the word Lego whenever I was researching this one, and it sold me on that. So it looks like there's a lot going on here, more to go along with the art aspect of it.
Yeah, CrockerCon's a local show, and I do it just to support the local community, and it's a family oriented show. Like, it's very much a family oriented show. I did my first one last year. I really enjoyed it. What I was trying to do last year that I'm going to do this year is I was going to have some like very affordable, like family friendly sketches. So that's my plan this year. I just hope I have time for it. So it always comes down to time. But
Right.
I'm hoping to have some stuff for the kids for that show. I don't do that at any other show, so I'm hoping I'll to do it this year.
That's
That'll
really
be- that'll
cool.
be
Yeah.
fun. That's really good. Yeah.
Did you have any of that at OAX? Like, because I know there was like a handful of, not like a ton of kids, but like a handful of kids, especially with the free sketch card giveaways. So do you have anything like that there? Or just more regular people, adults, collectors.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was mostly collectors. There probably were some kids that I'm not remembering, but no, when you're doing the free sketch card thing, you're kind of blasting through it. Like you don't remember.
Fair,
Not looking up.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
So this is another 1-day one, but it's free and it's for all ages. So if you're in the Sacramento area or vacation out there during this time, make sure and check it out.
Yeah. Not only that, Crocker's a great museum too.
Oh, well, that's even better.
A bonus. Yeah.
And we don't have it listed on here, but I heard you mention earlier in the show that you're at New York Comic Con. So
I'm waiting to hear back from them. I love New York Comic Con, and I'm looking for any excuse to go out there. So hopefully I'll be able to make it out to New York again.
Oh, I'm sure they'd love to have you out there.
Yeah, and normally I'm at Heroes Con, but I have to miss it this year, unfortunately. But I hope to be back next year. I love that show.
Yeah, it's such a great show. So it's become like a staple. It's funny enough, that's where we pitched the show. Like, to do this was the same thing. Dustin and I met there for the first time in person. He was like, "Hey, do you want to do a show?" I was just like, yeah, I guess so. So
yeah, we've only met twice in person, me and Tyler, at 2024 Heroes and 2025 Heroes. So, but yeah, whenever Tyler got your commission spot for OAX, I was like, "Oh, I'll get him at Heroes." And then I checked the list.
I'm normally at Heroes. Just this year, timing just didn't work out.
Well,
is it next week? Is it next week or?
It's June 11th.
Yeah,
is the
3 weeks.
12th, 13th, and 14th. So yeah, 3 weeks from tomorrow.
Okay.
Or Friday. Yeah, so it's coming soon. It's too soon. It's got a lot of preparation for that. So, but and these are you can check if I highly recommend following John on Instagram. The artwork he puts on there is absolutely amazing. And if not, they're comic art fans too. Add him as one of your favorites. Check him out. So
I need a better profile photo, man.
I like it. I like that.
That's a good profile.
I wish mine was as cool as that. So.
I need like a K-pop photo or something, man.
You can use that with the family friendly show. So
yeah.
So, with the kids.
Oh me. But last but not least, last for this part of the show before we get to the favorite things.
Just for the favorites,
giveaway time. We've had several entries pop up. This is what you're getting. Yeah, this is the copy that you're getting. That's issue 4 of the sketchbook. Some of the art inside here. And hopefully everybody, this is your last chance to be entered in the giveaway. Please type Wayshak Watch with the hashtag in there in the chat. We'll give you about 10 seconds here.
Yeah, we got 11 current entries. So
Cool. I'll do a little sketch on the inside too before I send it out.
Hold on, let me add my name. I'm gonna add my name on there.
Let me type Wayshak.
Hold on, John. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, I'll bring up. So this is the tool, the windows. Yeah, just it's interesting. Yeah, just as long as people put that hashtag, it automatically pulls them, and then I just press draw, and it supposedly will pick somebody. So
and if Good Buddy Comics wins, we'll draw again.
Yeah, we'll re-roll it. Yeah,
we're not gonna. That was that was just for.
Oh, Ryan, no,
Ryan, come on.
I think he's messing.
Yeah, he's already in our tracks.
Are we doing this live?
Yeah, we're doing it live.
I
think we've given everybody time. I think most everyone's here who's entered. So,
gosh, I'm excited about this one. Come on, Good Buddy.
I like it. You can see our name pop up. I'm gonna laugh if it lands on us.
Yeah, so please don't be Seth. It's Brady.
Oh, cool.
Brady, there we go.
Awesome.
Right on, dude.
Very cool.
All right. Well, if you're not a member of the Facebook that you don't recognize me and Tyler from there, or Instagram, message us on one of the medias, even on YouTube here, with your address. We'll reach out to you as well if we don't hear from you in the next day or so, and we'll make sure to get that out for you. I am very jealous of this. This is like, there's been a handful of times I've been insanely jealous of the prize. This is one of them. So congratulations. Very
Cool. Congratulations, man. I'll get that sent out to you.
That's awesome.
But now, our favorite things of the week. We John, in case you haven't watched before, and we can't legally sing this song until 2055. I think that's when the copyright infringe. But we all know the tune from The Sound of Music. So Raindrops on Roses and Whiskers on Kittens. These are our favorite things. We'll start with this, John.
I actually forgot that was from Sound of Music.
I know, right? Yeah. There we go. Brady's still in the chat, so very cool.
So Dustin Whitney, Tyler Laracy, if you're on Facebook, or you can message us at Good Buddy Comics on Instagram. So, all right, so John, this is all four of your favorite things were brand new to me and Tyler. This is very unique, so we're really looking forward to hearing about these and what makes them your favorite.
And also, you were honestly like one of the first guests who and I like how you questioned it, but like you immediately got what it was supposed to be. We were like, oh, we nailed it. Yeah. No, you got it accurate. So.
Yeah. So Radioactive Dreams, it's a film by Albert Pion. It's, I think it's hard to find actually. It might be out of print. It might not be. I'm on an Albert Pion kick where I'm watching all of his movies. I think he's a very interesting director. I think he works mostly in the B movie, a lot of canon movies kind of world. But the quality on some of them, like Nemesis, he did Cyborg. They seem to be a step up. I think he has a lot of interesting ideas. I don't think they always work, but Radioactive Dreams is one of his very early ones that has very raw, like very kind of punk rock in a way. And it's actually a huge influence on Fallout. The concept of Fallout can be said came from this movie. And that's not just me saying it. Other people have said that. But it's these guys that are like in a Fallout shelter that are let out into the world for the first time. And they get to see like all this weirdness about it. And it's a great movie. Watch it if you can. It has Michael Dudikoff in it, who's the American Ninja. But anyway, I love Albert Pion. You should also see Nemesis as well. I just watched the director's cut of Cyborg, which was interesting. But yeah, check it out. Human X.
I think it's from around, I thought it was like 1985 or something. You said it's very early. I may have messed up the year there, but yeah, it's an 80s film, but so it may be a little bit harder to find, but from your description, it sounds like it's worth hunting down.
Oh, I think visually it's great. It looks great. I mean, nothing beats like having real world sets. I don't know. Things were dirty back then. I mean, it was a low budget movie, so it had to be, but I enjoyed it. Another low budget movie from that back then that I've really been enjoying is Salute of the Jugger, which is a Rutger Hauer film. And one of the Rutger Hauer's characters, one of the inspirations for one of the main characters in Berserk, actually.
So,
it's an interesting film.
Yeah. I imagine if it inspired Berserk.
Oh, absolutely.
From one of the characters.
Which I haven't seen yet, Berserk. People are convinced I'd love it. But what I've seen of it looks really good. Just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, it's on my list as well. My brother was super into it. He keeps telling me to get on it. So
yeah. And then Human Acts is by Korean author Han Kong, and she she won the Nobel Prize, I think, in the past year, the first female Korean author. And
Wow.
it's about, like, I'm looking this up because I can't say the city's name, so I'm going to try my
No,
best.
you're fine.
It's in Korea. It's about 1980 Korea, the Gwangju area, and it has to do with an uprising that happened there in the 80s, where people were trying to, a lot of college students in that were trying to protest the Korean government, which was very military influenced. And it just became a massacre where they're just like murdering tons of students
Oh
and
man.
locals, the military doing that, trying to keep people under control. So this
Yeah.
book is about, each chapter deals with a different person with the same event and how it affected them back then and into the present time or the future, including an epilogue with the author. And um, there's one sequence where it's really great, where the character's dead and he doesn't know he's dead, and it's just about
Oh,
him
wow.
like trying to go through bodies and figuring it out, and like his spirit like moving
Yeah.
through just the piles of bodies. But anyway, fantastic book. I absolutely loved it. Her other book, The Vegetarian, which is a commentary on just like how women are treated in Korean society. I thought those are great. So check it out. It's worth checking out. Most people like The Vegetarian better. I think they're both great. So either The Vegetarian or Human Acts.
Or this
Check
one,
both
yeah.
of them out. And I'm going to give a
Add
shout
to the
out
list.
for Repent Harlequin, so the TikTok Man by Harlan Ellison, because I feel like not enough people are reading that story anymore.
Okay.
TikTok
Yeah.
man. I have to note all these things down.
Yeah. And Tyler's really good about taking notes from like all of our guests' favorite things, and he actually will go back and check them all out. So
Okay,
I
cool.
get the
It's
I get the
just
list from
interesting,
Tyler.
especially like
Yes.
films. I mean, I love watching movies and reading books. Granted, you'll see like my stuff is more mainstream coming up, but I'm always interested in like, because there's just so much out there that like, whether I'm just not aware or it's just not generally something I'd look at, but giving it a second glance, like you just never know what you're gonna stumble upon. So, and let's just say a second page here.
Okay, so we got to hear the story behind A Solitary Rain, because you said there's a
Yeah.
reason that you like to listen to this song.
There's no story to that song other than like what it
Oh.
is sometimes when I'm finishing a piece, like at the very end of a piece, I like to zone out, and a lot of times it has to do with playing music. And this song in the past year has been kind of my zone out song for when I'm finishing a piece. And it's like I need to be totally outside of logic and just blast that, and then I'll finish up a piece. And a lot of the covers you've seen, I don't remember which ones, but a majority of the covers, the finishing was finishing of those projects were listening to this song. And just because I think it's a fantastic song, it's a fantastic band,
Yeah.
but it's just been kind of my thing for finishing pieces. And that there's times where there is a song that will do that. Wolves in the Throne Room is another band where I was doing the same thing, but this is who I'm currently doing it with. So it's a great song. Check it out. Amenra, again, something else I can't pronounce, but I'm trying my best.
Yeah,
No, I mean,
I wasn't even going to try to pronounce it. I was going to let you do that. So.
Yeah. But check out
I
Wolves
was-
in the Throne
yeah.
Room too.
Wolves in the Throne Room. So we're getting all good.
Yeah.
All kinds of good.
Recommendations, I know, yeah.
Yeah. And then last but not least, The Explainers, which is a collection of daily strips.
It's from The Village Voice. It's from Jules Pfeiffer, and he is actually one of the original writers on The Spirit. And but anyway, it's a great daily strip. It's political commentary on society, things like that, drawn very simply but very much to the point and very poignant, drawn all with a fountain pen, and most of it. So some of the early strips he said he drew with steak sticks, those little wood sticks you put in the steak. I guess he was trying to draw with those in some of the early ones.
Interesting.
But anyway, one of my absolute favorite cartoonists of all time, one of the greatest cartoonists of all time. And I guess one thing I'll throw out real quick that people don't know about me is that I'm actually a huge comic strip guy and newspaper comic and political cartoonist guy.
Yeah.
Those things were influential to me before I even got into comic books. So, and I always consider myself a cartoonist, first and foremost.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's one of the greatest. I've been following his work since I was a kid, and The Explainers, fantastic book collection of his strips from the Village Voice. I don't even know if you can still get this book, but I hope you can.
Now, there are some strips. Whenever I was looking for images of this book to put in the slides, they had some images of the strips, and I read some of them. I mean, it's good. It's a. What year did these come out, Joe? Do you have like a time frame? Because I couldn't pinpoint it when I was reading the strips.
Yeah, they came out in I want to say, I'm trying to remember. I think it was the late 60s, and then
Okay,
they were going on up until the 90s.
Wow.
And then I don't know when it actually
that's a
stopped,
run.
but even
Yeah.
when I was in high school, I was still reading them. They were still syndicated in the paper. I used to cut them out and put them in a scrapbook because, like,
Oh, that's
junior high and high school, like, it's just like I wasn't going out buying books, so I would just cut stuff out of the newspaper, and I still have the scrapbooks where I just like paste stuff in. Like one of the most brilliant
Yeah.
cartoonists is Hank Ketchum, who does Dennis the Menace. I
Mm,
was always
Yeah.
collecting those. And of course Charles Schultz.
Yeah.
classics.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
nerd out on
Yeah.
comic strip stuff
No,
right
No,
now.
it's awesome.
Anyway,
Man. It's super
yeah.
cool.
Jim Davis was the like stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but oh yeah, so definitely check these out. All of these, I'll just go back to the very beginning there, and then finish it up. So I loved how you gave us the different categories: a movie, a book, a song, and then the strips. That was the collection of strips. That was a great choices,
A
great
wide,
selection.
wide breadth of really great examples. So
Yeah. I was trying to cover all the bases. I wasn't sure if you're going to use them all, but
No,
just throwing out stuff I
do.
like.
yeah.
Oh, and I apologize. I'm starting to say the name.
Okay.
Loose. We did the giveaways earlier. You may be watching it on a delay, so we
Yeah.
apologize.
We had
to
the
get to that
banner, so
part.
I only because I noticed the banner was
Yeah.
still running. I was like, oh, that should not be up there.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I'm glad you removed that. But thanks for watching. Thanks for joining, and make sure and go back and watch the earlier content if you can. I was scraping the bottom of the barrel this week. I didn't have a whole lot of favorite things, but this wasn't bad. It was the Netflix new show. It was by the Duffer Brothers. Stranger Things producers were involved, or creators were involved as producers for this. But it was pretty much Stranger Things for the old folks home. So I like Alfred Molina, Dennis
he was great.
O'Hare,
Yeah.
Gina Davis, all those Clark Peters, Alfred Woodward, all of them great acting. Story was kind of cookie cutter, but it was fun. It was a fun story. We watched all of it in a weekend, and because there was nothing else to watch over the weekend. But yeah, it was. I recommend watching it. Just don't go in with like super high expectations, and you won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
How's that for favorite things, Tyler?
Yeah, you really sold it. Yeah. No, it was fun. Yeah, it wasn't. It was a fun little adventure, and they supposedly they maybe want to do possibly 3 seasons tops, I think, for this, what they were saying. So they've got more they can tell, but yeah, time will tell if they get to tell more or not. But like you said, it was a fun cast, and I liked watching cranky old people get to do stuff. Be put in fun situations. So
Yeah,
like you said,
I couldn't help but
Alfred
think of.
so he was just so good.
He was good, and Cocoon was what kept popping in my mind as I was watching it. 'Cause I
That's
love
fair, yeah.
Cocoon for this. But yeah, I didn't realize they were doing multiple seasons. I thought it was a one and done by the way it ended. But
They wrote it in such a way, like if they didn't get anything, I was like, all right, cool, it can be fine on its own, but it still leaves it open to where they could potentially do more if it does well. So
I got you. All right, Bill Pullman was in it too, but that's all.
he
I'll
was,
say.
yeah. It was,
so
it was fun getting to see
no
Bill
spoilers.
again in that one. So,
Is
funny
that the
enough, mine was
Spaceballs guy?
yeah,
Yes,
Spaceballs. I was
it
just
is,
thinking it's funny
Yeah.
because he's gonna be in the movie with his son, which I'm like, that's got to be such a wild experience to like do the sequel to the movie and have your son, in it with you. So
Is that Lewis
that'd
Pullman?
be fun to see. Yeah,
Trying to
Lewis,
remember
yeah,
his
his
name.
son, yeah. But he's great too. I really like him. He was in. I should have actually called it out. I think it was like last week or the week before, but the octopus movie that he's in. It also has
beautiful creatures, or
yeah, it was a really
Netflix.
beautiful movie. I really like that one. But mine, was Widow's Bay from Dustin's recommendation from the previous week on Apple. It took an episode or two, but then I was like really starting to get into it. I honestly enjoyed it from the get go because you had, funny enough, sold it as Parks and Rec meets Midnight Mass, which I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I definitely, I at least personally agree with that. Like there were some people, Britain, maybe other people who didn't, but she was a writer on Parks and Rec, so it makes sense,
right?
The sensibilities into this, but it's just a fun show. Again, I don't think I think Apple's one of the better producers right now of content for TV, and yeah, like I said, it's just one like you just got to kind of watch and get into it. They just dropped 2 episodes tonight, so I'm excited to get to watch more.
And
then
John, this is on Apple. I was just going to say this is
Yeah.
on Apple. It's got Matthew Reese as the mayor of this small island town that's cursed. It's a horror comedy, so it's a little it's
Like he's trying to
weird,
make
but it's
this
fun.
island like the next big thing, but like
Yeah.
it's cursed, so it's like everything's kind of fighting against him. So there's like one really intense episode that was super weird and intense, but I mean, really good way.
Yeah.
And then again, it's kind of more for like the generic fun stuff. Citadel. I totally forgot about this show. It came out 3 years ago, and then they only just now have come out with season 2. But it honestly, I don't remember much from season 1, but I like Stanley Tucci. I like the main actor from Game of Thrones. This season is a lot more fun. This guy, the guy in the orange looking shirt there, he's a super fun new addition. Like he's just he kind of plays like a average Yankee, American, rough and tumble kind of character, but he like it's funny watching him next to like Stanley Tucci, who's supposed to be more his usual characters kind of a deal. So a fun one. Like I said, I'm enjoying it. They dropped all the episodes, but I watched this one with my sister-in-law. So these are the two that stuck out to me. So
good choices.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, so for Artist Alley, as we wrap up our show here and just announce Fan Expo, which is this upcoming weekend, make sure and check out good buddies Scotty Young and Brett Bean. Heroes Con, we got a whole slew of former and current good buddies that are on the show. Former, it makes me sound like we've kicked them off. Current good buddies, I mean ones that, but and there's a few more there that are going to be on future shows that we will love to add to the roster. IC3 in Jacksonville. Matt Sardo, comic art fans, all of our friends over there are putting that on. Jamie Jones will be there, so make sure and check that one out. And last but not least, San Diego Comic-Con. Check out we're going to add that for some of our buddies that are on there with all the other shows. So Wayshak, John, your name will be on this list going forward. So
all right.
we keep the running list. Here are our guests coming up on the next few weeks. Morgan Beam will be our guest next week. Derek Laufman will be back on June 23rd as his Kickstarter.
I was getting a call.
That's very professional there.
After that, Koi Fam with his podcast partner Matt Yoakum on June 24th. David Peterson on July 8th, creator of Mouse Guard. Super looking forward to that one. And then Jeffrey Brown, creator of Darth Vader and Son, Jedi Academy, all these fun stories. So
cool.
I got a lot of fun people coming up. Super looking forward to. So again, we're blessed to have people who agree to come on the show, especially if they agree to come back, which is always nice. So we greatly appreciate it. The fan meetup for Heroes 2026 is on. So message myself or Dustin. We did this at Heroes last year where we had a little Scotty group get together because of the group that Dustin put together for Scotty Young Appreciation. So we've got a better place. Last year was Buffalo Wild Wings. That didn't really go over great. So now we've got a better spot, thankfully. If you want to be on this show, please message myself or Dustin. We'll definitely make that happen. And then if there's anything you have that you want to shout out before we leave here, Wayshak, or
no, see you at the cons. Thanks to everybody who drops by. Thanks to everybody who listened. Thanks to everybody who watched Sketchbook live stream. And just follow my Instagram, the Sketchbook live stream. We have more coming for you.
Awesome. Great looking for. Is there anything, Dustin? I know you dipped out there for a brief second.
No. I was messing with some sound effects. We talked about before the show. When all of a sudden I'm trying to talk, there's loud rock music playing in my ears. So I don't know if anybody else heard that. So I apologize for that. But thank you very much, John, for coming on and being as gracious as you were with your time. I really appreciate it and hope to have you on in the future. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
No, thanks for having me. Anytime.
No, it's seriously a pleasure. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you next week with our Heroes preview show, or Morgan, and then our Heroes preview show after that. But until then, 10-4 good buddies, and we'll catch y'all on the next show.
Thumbs up.